Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Wednesday Night Modern here from Darkster in London. I am John Partridge and this is
Chris Wingrave again.
And we're going to take you through 4 rounds of modern action here today. We have a lot to talk about because obviously I'm sure many of you are aware of
something happened.
Banned and restricted announcement updates which happened earlier this week. We will have plenty to talk about, but we're going to send it straight down to the feature match area. We have Black, White, Eldrazi and Taxes versus Esper Gifts. Players will be given the go-ahead and we will crack on with round number 1.
Excellent.
Apparently the live totals have not updated. We will get them changed now.
We're just going to change the life totals really quickly, and it looks like it starts off with a nice swamp. Is that a swamp? That is a swamp. Not sure exactly what set that's from, but that's fantastic. And the 8th of Fire, which is great, was exactly what you want from the Eldrazi and Taxes deck, or Black, White, Death and Taxes. I'm not sure exactly what we were on, but somebody has put up a particular card. And we'll get right into it now, so to see exactly what is happening. So they're not at 6 and 5 life, we're just changing the, and we're refreshing it now. Hopefully it'll get adjusted. And they're just resolving a Serum Visions here from Maxwell Lee. We shall see exactly. He's got a Search for Azcanta on turn number 2. This is a very, very nice draw. Finally got the basic planes here. It looks like they're from the sets of the, is it the Arena set?
They are all
the arena
lands.
ones?
They are all lands. We're going to see an activation of the Ether Vial. We're going to put Tide Hollow Sculler into
one
play.
of my favourite cards. Ooh.
That is a hand. That is a Collective Brutality, 2 copies of Goryo's Vengeance, a Fatal Push, and a Jace.
That's a go-get Jace hand, isn't it, really?
I think, yes.
You take the removal spell, clearly.
Which
I think
one?
just
Which removal spell?
A removal spell. The most expensive, not the most expensive, but the cheapest one, I would say.
Yep. Force him to
Makes
use all
sense,
his mana. I mean, the Black Eldrazi and Taxes deck doesn't really run too many removal spells, but obviously anything being snagged by Collective Brutality with any sort of benefit is always powerful. Maybe
definitely.
I think you probably take. You
might want to just take the Jace.
No, I think you take the Collective Brutality. You're playing an Eldrazi and Taxes deck, which means your creatures are quite large, which means that Fatal Push is pretty good against you compared to the Collective Brutality. We're going to see a Search for Azcanta trigger here. We're going to see a Marsh Flats, the draw for the turn. Maxwell Lee probably going to fire off this Fatal Push on the Tide Hollow Sculler, get back his Collective Brutality, maybe discard that spare copy of Goryo's Vengeance. We're going to see the Crackle of Fetch line straight away. Already up to 3 cards in Graveyard for the 7 for Search for Azcanta, turning into Azcanta the Sunken Ruin. Player life totals 15 points for Maxwell, has already domed himself, and he's not even playing a Death Shadow deck.
That's right.
How beautiful is this? Jamie Hardy on the other side at 20 still. No turbo lands yet in the form of the Eldrazi Temple.
Not any particular fast mana, no, that's right.
Yeah, the fast mana does help this deck a lot, but obviously early on Black-White's fine as well. And
yeah, it's definitely got an easy time against this sort of triple mana deck here with the Eldrazi and Taxes of taxing their mana. But here comes the Collective Brutality.
We're going to Duress and probably Duress and Drain and Brain.
Yeah.
Which is
see exactly what happens. But
so we're going to see a hand of Thought-Knot Seer. Thought-Knot Seer
does get rid of the path.
Path to Exile, Eldrazi Displacer, and the Wasteland Strangler.
That's right. So, an uptick of the vial, so the tick's up to... Here we go, there's another Tide Hollow Sculler. Take that, seems good.
I'm not so sure on that one. Like, I still think
over the Jace.
Like Jace is the engine card, right?
It is, yeah, it is. But he has got the Wasteland Strangler, which he can process from. So the trick with the Wasteland Strangler that you can do is you can exile. Oh well, you can take the card that's under exile under the Tide Hollow Sculler, kill the Jace, and as I think you're going to see this interaction here. So he's going to remove that card to exile. Back to the graveyard and kill. Yep, there we go. There's the combo there, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what we want to see. It's particularly good. That's exactly what you want to see. So he extracted the... not extracted, sorry. He played the Wasteland Strangler.
Oh, yes.
He got
very
the
nice
full value of the Wasteland Strangler coming in and processing the card that was...
We're going to flip the Elishnorn. Wow, we're going to flip the Elishnorn into the graveyard. We're going to see Azcanta the Sunken Ruin flip into...
Seems good.
Sorry, Search for Azcanta flip into Azcanta the Sunken Ruin. We're going to see a activation of the Ether Vial here and a Thought Not Seer into play here. We're going to see 4 mana taps in response, and the gifts ungiven here for Maxwell Lee, obviously making the most of his mana, able to get his cards into the graveyard, which is the best place for them.
It's the very best place for them right now.
especially against a Thought Not Seer.
Yes, you want to get that away, completely away from you, so you don't have any horribleness coming up.
And it looks like it was actually his last card in hand as well.
Looked like it was, so that was a very, very good draw.
This is quite a board state here for Jamie at the moment. He has a Thought Not Seer, a Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, a copy of Tide Hollow Sculler, a Wasteland Strangler, and obviously moving on to the next one. So we're going to see players untapping. Gifts Ungiven has been revealed. Jace for Prodigy was the take. Obviously, we can't cast the Gifts Ungiven at the moment because Thalia is making it too expensive to cast.
Just that little bit too much.
We're going to see an attack here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Rather
6,
large.
7, 8,
15
9, and
to 11.
10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, yes. So we're going to see the trigger activate as Cancer the Sunken Ruin. Now, it can't take lands, it can only take spells. Obviously, he'd be very...
Some form of removal spell, like a push or a... Well, not a push, actually, but Collective Brutality... might mean he gets something useful.
But a land is what he really wants to see.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's
another search?
Looks a fatal push, possibly. Oh, no.
I saw a flash of
all
blue.
right. So we're going to see an upkeep here. Thought Not Seer here for Jamie out of the Ether Vial. Obviously, this Eldrazi and Taxes deck currently firing on all cylinders.
There's the push.
We're going to see a fatal push take down
But it's not
Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Well, it's going to... Yeah, he's at 1 life. So he was really hoping there wasn't another Thought Not Seer and he could resolve the Elesh Norm. We're going to see an untap here from Jamie. Draw for the turn, in with everything, and we should soon be on to game number
2. Well,
that was quick.
That's how it goes, I think,
didn't
sometimes.
Really tax his opponent either.
No, no. Sometimes you come out the gates blaring with your Eldrazi and you just smash their face in, as you saw there. So this deck is sort of quite close to my heart, really, with Jamie. The Black-White Eldrazi and Taxes I played consistently well.
Are you feeling okay tonight?
No, but I was one of the first people that started adjusting mana bases and such when this came around. Really, really quite strong and solid deck. The only real issue is its mana base can be a bit painful at times, and you can get stranded with those Tide Hollow Scholars in your hand. Now, I'll be interested to see if he's playing... So he's got a couple of Mirroring Crusaders on the side, a couple of Rest in Pieces from the looks of it, so those are definitely going to come in. And I'm not sure what else he has he's going to take out. I imagine he keeps... ooh, is that a spatial... Oh no, that's a promo 3-drop Thalia. So the big Thalia.
Thalia's got Thalia Heretic Cathar.
Heretic Cathar.
3/2.
So it takes out the...
that card is really good against the...
I imagine the Wasteland Stranglers come straight out because they are probably quite dog-awful in this match. You'd rather see a Path to Exile as your removal spell.
I mean, at the same time, you also have the fact that the Displacers aren't great either.
Displacer's okay because it does trump Iona attacking each turn.
Yes, or Elesh Norn attacking
or
each
Elesh
turn.
Norn,
That is one way of dealing with it, that is true.
And sometimes you can swing in for a bit of damage because not everything is X2.
But I definitely agree that Wasteland Strangler probably the worst of the bunch.
Yes, definitely. I think that's what comes in, and you want some amount of Rest in Pieces and your Graveyard Hate to just come in, and then hopefully resolve one of those said pieces. I'm hoping he's running some surgical extractions. There you go. Okay, so he's taking out
the Wasteland Strangler. Obviously,
didn't get a flash of what else he took out.
The key card, obviously, what we saw in that match was, of course, the wonderful Eldrazi from one of the more recent sets, in the form of
Thought Not Seer.
Spelled properly in terms of Thought Not Seer. 3 and a colourless mana for a 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from it and exile that card. When Thought Not Seer leaves the battlefield, target opponent draws a card. Now, obviously, the interesting thing is you don't get the card exiled back. You get a
that's right. It's
random
gone.
card.
Yeah,
it is pretty good. That card that they took is gone forever in game
until you kill it.
Until you either lose or win.
yeah.
And even if you kill it, you get a replacement card. Now, 4/4 for 4, not normally the best of rates, but in Modern, it's quite big.
Yeah, and just looking at the person's hand and taking something from it without them getting it back again is just so vital. And getting information with the Death and Taxes deck, knowing what to play around is so good. Because you're running a deck that's fairly synergistic and you want to be able to counterplay what they have, and knowing what's in the opponent's hand. When you have vials and all of the tricks to do with Flicker Wisps and vialing in various creatures at certain times. Eldrazi Displacer helps there a bit, but the Tidalous Scullers and the Thornot Seers just mean that this takes this deck to another level, which is why it saw quite a rise in popularity in probably about 6 months ago, where it was pretty big. Craig Westco played it a few times and then was quite unhappy with the mana base.
So here's a good one for you while the players are shuffling up. Did you see the funny tweet from Ryan Overturf recently?
Not yet.
So I'm just going to find it on my phone because I actually found it quite funny. So it's like after obviously GP Toronto.
Yeah.
And the deck that went, he goes
Boogly Boos.
So it's like Ensnaring Bridge won the Pro Tour and the metagame reacted with squints at Q card, giant creatures.
Yep.
Like what? Really? It's like, and it's another example here with the Black White Eldrazi sex. It's like must be Ensnaring Bridge. Let's play massive monsters.
Yep.
That is definitely how that works. But players shuffling up and looking at their opening hands, we see an Eldrazi Temple in hand alongside what looks like a Cave of Koilos here for Jamie. Maxwell going to keep his hand. Jamie going to send it back. The turn 2 would have been in Eldrazi Displacer, not the strongest in the world. So we're going to see what the players have for game number 2. And it's actually interesting that the gifts package in these sort of gifts package to make prison monsters are a lot worse in Modern than they are in Legacy.
Yeah.
Where things like Elish Norn is actually a lockout.
Yeah,
things
especially
like
for the
is a lockout.
Yeah.
Grizzlebrand isn't quite a lockout, but does an effective
to some
job
extent,
of being a
like
lockout.
the gifts package is fairly hard to beat for a mono white Death and Taxes list.
Yes.
So, and even the white grey, anything that's not black, because the black they've got the hand disruption.
Colourless.
Or sure, colourless. Thornot Seer on some extent can help you with that. However, the black has the Tidalous colours, so the hand disruption is just so important. It really is. See it time and time again.
And we see a much better hand here from Jamie. Looks like a Rest in Peace, a Leon Arbiter, a Flickerwisp, a Thornot Seer, and a few lands to back it all up. And we're going to see a turn 1 Shambling Vent in for the Black-White Eldrazi and Taxes deck. We're going to see a Flooded Strand on turn 2 for Maxwell Lee. Going to draw a turn. We see Path to Exile, the draw for the turn. Definitely a much better removal spell than some of the other ones he had. We see 2 mana being tapped for the Leon Arbiter.
Okay, so
now we're going to see a
goes in. Okay,
and it has gone. And we're going to probably see a crack of the fetch land on the end. Obviously,
Leon Arbiter.
One of the less known.
Leonin Arbiter.
Oh yeah,
so Leonin Arbiter. Leonin Arbiter. The very, very interesting card, especially on Magic Online, because there's no triggered ability here
that
for
must
this
be
card.
Fun.
There's absolutely no triggered abilities coming from Leonin Arbiter. It's a static effect. Now, a little bit about static effects is they're quite awkward at times, right? So, if you crack a fetch, and you have put that particular, when you're doing it in the paper, and you've put that card in the graveyard, you can't resolve. You can resolve the function of that ability. So there's 2 things that cracking a fetch does.
You need to pay 2 mana here.
No, no. He can go and have a search. Is illegal actions, obviously, otherwise. But everyone is willing and able to crack a fetch. You are completely able to crack a fetch in the presence of Leonin Arbiter. You're completely able to go and shuffle your deck in the presence of Leonin Arbiter. And that's what it would be. It would be crack your fetch, pay 1 life, shuffle your deck. That's all it would be. Unless
pretty powerful.
You have to pay the 2 and then crack the fetch. That's the only way you can get around Leonin Arbiter. So if someone cracks a fetch and then tries to pay 2, it's too late. Because you've already done to try to resolve the spell. Or the ability.
So we're going to see Lingering of Souls here for Maxwell Lee, Jamie Hardy, playing his Rest in Peace. The graveyard gone for Maxwell Lee, and a lot of the power of his deck gone. We're going to see Thornot Seer into play. We're going to see what is left in hand for Maxwell Lee. He's going to crack a fetch land in response. It's straight into exile.
Seems good.
And we might be seeing here a value.
Ooh, so look, I can see some. I can see some Rune Halos. I think I saw another.
Some detention spheres.
Some detention spheres, yeah. So there is actually some answers here to the Rest in Pieces, which inevitably he knew he was going to come in against him.
So this is one of the interesting things about Maxwell Lee's deck is he takes a lot of damage from his lands. He has little to zero copy. He has some number of basics, obviously, for Path to Exile. But
that's right.
He's fetching dual lands very aggressively in this matchup, needing to obviously make sure all his colours are online. So what are we going to see here? We've got Supreme Verdict, Detention Sphere. Probably might see a Porphyry Nodes. That is a very interesting.
Is that Day of Judgment as well?
Ruined Halo. So, what's the split?
Cool.
Mr. Expert,
wow.
What is the split?
Well, if I'm
I don't think you can give him Porphyry nodes.
if I'm playing the deck here from Jamie, I would probably. Well,
Give
you've
him
got one
Ruined Halo?
creature. You could give him Porphyry nodes because it would kill his flyers, and you don't have to play anything because you're still waiting for him to resolve something. So you could play. You still also got your Shambling Vents, right? Or is it at the end of every?
Let's do this properly.
Yeah, let's
go
see
to the card image viewer.
Let's see Porphyry nodes. So maybe you want to just.
Hang on. No,
You certainly want to bin the D-Sphere because it gets rid of Rest in Peace.
Yes.
You could probably give them Supreme Verdict and Porphyry
Looks like
nodes.
he's giving Porphyry nodes
Yeah,
Supreme Verdict here.
I think
we're
that's
gonna
probably
see. Oh,
correct.
no, I can't spell apparently. I'll just spell Porphyry nodes. That's, no, we're going to...
Oh, yeah, and now he's resolving his thing. So, yeah, okay. You can take away the Porphyry nodes and leave him with Supreme Verdict. I don't think that's a problem. Because he's got no threats coming out at the moment. So, you can swing it with Thought-Knot Seer enough times, and your Shambling Vents gets around the Verdict anyway. So,
Okay,
he does take the Verdict, though. So
have worked out how to spell Porphyry.
oh, it's
That's
got,
a really weird spelling. Please, ladies and gentlemen at home, please don't try to spell this card. There we go.
Someone did
Porphyry
it
nodes,
successfully
a
in
white
chat.
mana enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Destroy the creature with the
Of your upkeep,
least
yes.
power.
Okay.
It can't be regenerated. If 2 or more creatures are tied, then you choose one. If no creature are in play, then sacrifice Porphyry nodes. It does mean he has to go through his 2 copies of Lingering Souls.
Before he gets to the exactly, which is why I would think you probably keep it because it gets rid of Lingering Souls, and I imagine he's chumping here. But eventually, it does deal with the
deck, the creature deck that has to. Try
yes, but it does disappear when there is no creatures in play.
Yes, you do have to take a few turns off to.
Yeah, and that's not a beginning of upkeep effect. It's just whenever there's no creatures in play, so which is really good.
So we're going to see the Flicker Wisp into play here.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Ooh, hello. I would have flickered the Thought-Knot Seer.
Yeah.
Attacked first, flickered the Thought-Knot Seer, got the value.
I guess he's got cards open, so maybe.
Destroy the Porphyry nodes. Draw hit for the turn here for Maxwell Lee. We're going to see Elesh Norn off the top. Not
eventually
really
you can
the draw.
get to cast it.
He's 1 mana away.
Is it 7?
I believe it's 6.
7, I think, isn't it, for Elish?
Elesh.
I love the sound of it, and it's a great artwork as well.
It is wonderful artwork that the artist did produce this one. 7 mana, 5 white.
I thought it was 7, yeah.
Very
Legendary creature Praetor. Do you know any other Praetors in
No.
Modern?
Are there any other Praetors?
There is a few other Praetors in Modern.
All right.
There's the black
Dazzle
one.
us with your knowledge.
Oh, oh no, what's his name now? I know the artwork. It's like it's basically something very similar to Elish Norn.
So
sort
we're going to see
Here we go.
Leon and Arbiter here for Maxwell Lee. And Untap passes back to the turn. Porphyry nodes trigger, destroy Leon and Arbiter. We're going to draw a card here. Looks like a Lingering Souls here. It's good, pretty good.
That's a good.
But he has to have another. He has to have a land to follow up with.
So 3 mana 1/1 at the moment. So Lingering Souls being shown as not quite good in the face of Porphyry nodes.
We're going to path one of them here.
Why?
Why would you do that? Why would you path one? That
Well, I guess actually it dies on the end of his.
Yeah, which means he has lethal attack next turn.
So yeah, that's true. Unless he's got another removal spell in hand. Unfortunately,
he gets
for
to jump
Maxwell
up this turn.
No,
it is lethal damage.
It's each upkeep, isn't it? With Porphyry nodes, I believe it is, right? Porphyry nodes.
Let's pull up the wonderful card that is Porphyry nodes.
Let's bring it back up.
Oh wow, we're going to fire up the Shambling Vent. And that's it. There is a Y in there as well. But what we'll do is we'll double check just to make sure.
Save it with the correct.
Save. I saved it last time. It just pulled that one up first. It didn't like me very much. At the
like
beginning of your upkeep. So not your opponent. So it is your upkeep.
Right.
So it does mean
that's
that
a bit rough.
That was very rough. Maxwell Lee not really able to get anything going. He had a he had a nice play. Had he been able to draw land and be able to make the Elesh Norn, he would have been able to then kill the Thought-Knot Seer before the Elesh Norn died.
I think
Porphyry nodes trigger, but it would have wiped the board at that point.
Yeah,
this would have been another way of doing it. However,
I guess maybe the hand was pretty weak to Rest in Peace. It might have needed some kind of like spell snares or something, or the Echoing Truth.
The deck felt pretty weak to Rest in Peace in that one because it has so much graveyard interaction. It's not like your blue-white control list, which has planeswalkers. It doesn't have the planeswalker wing condition. It simply has a lot of value creatures.
Yeah, so it seems
ungiven.
It just seems fantastically well placed.
Yes. However, congratulations to Jamie and his Black-White Eldrazi and Taxes deck. Very interesting deck. Didn't really get to see a lot of the taxes side of it.
No, sadly not. No.
But we definitely got to see a lot more of the just the value Eldrazi plan. He played Eldrazi and monstered his opponent with said Eldrazi. Didn't see Reality Smashers.
But we didn't see Reality Smashers, but that particular type of deck, I think, has gone away from Reality Smashers, or if they are, they're in the sideboard. Mostly because it's just a bit too expensive when you're aggressively sort of ghost quartering.
Oh yes, okay. We didn't see any ghost quarters though.
Well, no,
which
is interesting.
Non-taxes Eldrazi black and white deck. Had a few tax elements, but not really an awful lot.
So it wasn't black-white, which I've been playing recently online, but I've been playing it with a very small splattering of black. Without the Eldrazi. Yes. So I've taken away the Eldrazi completely, and I've gone for Bob. I've gone for Smuggler's Copter. Because
so
Smuggler's Copter is great. Yeah, and Lingering Souls.
Yes.
So
Lingering Souls is agreeable,
and Kite Sail Freebooter actually, which I quite like.
So you're actually quite a heavy black splash.
Not really. No.
That's Lingering Souls,
Bob,
Kite Sail Freebooter, Bob.
Yeah.
That's quite a few cards you're splashing for.
But it is splashing. It's not. Well, there's so much more white cards.
Splashing is when you're playing a blue land for, say, 2 Retreat to Coral Helm. That is splashing.
You only play 1?
2.
What's was it?
1. No, I played 2 blue sources.
Okay, 2 blue sources.
More get counter spells on sideboard. Splashing for about 9 cards is not splashing.
Well,
especially when you get more in the sideboard. However, we're going to move on to the very important topic that has arisen this week. Yes, Lingering Souls is
that's exactly, and you can discard extra Lingering Souls and things to the Copter. So the deck is actually quite strong when you're not playing Eldrazi as well, because I was playing it with 7 main deck removal spells, which is very uncommon for that type of deck.
Push, Path to Exile,
and 4 fatal, 3 fatal push, 4 path. That's it. I was thinking of like maybe a one of Collective Brutality because. Or go for the throat, maybe.
Collective Brutality does seem very good currently in this format, especially against the... Well, I say in this format, I mean, I'm on about the fact where you have so many decks you can play where it hits... every deck has a target for both...
Yes, that's right, yeah.
-2, well, again, apart from Tron. But it has a -2/-2 ability, which is relevant against most decks in the format. It has a discard effect, which is effective against most decks in the format. And it also has a lifesteal effect, which is pretty useful against most decks in the format, especially when...
Yeah,
as we saw when Luis Salvato managed to burn opponents.
That's it, right? So
the repeated collective brutalities.
Collective brutalities, I think, have gone up to about £12 to £14 now in the UK. So it is a bit of a jump, and it's a bit of a
not really a chase rare either. It was printed in a more recent set, so there is a lot of.
I don't think it saw a lot of play when it was in standard,
It saw quite a lot of play. It was pretty good.
Oh, that was the green-black sort of...
Yeah, Delirium.
You're
playing Delirium. Please allow me to discard this card I don't have already.
I'm mistaken.
And also,
and it got Fatal Push as well, so it's just like...
It hit a lot of things in that format that you wanted it to, and -2/-2 was actually quite good against
indestructible...
Kill Selfless
Grim
Spirit.
Flayer.
It killed Selfless Spirit.
It killed anything in the presence of Selfless Spirit as well, yeah. And no, that's true.
It killed Raven Inspector, the best card in that deck.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely the best card in that blue-white flash deck.
I'm actually playing that in my standard... in my modern deck.
It's banned in standard now. It's not banned, it's not legal in standard.
I'm playing the Enthronement Inspector in the Death and Taxes deck, actually, the black-white one.
It's pretty good.
It's just so... It's probably the best one white drop in modern for that deck.
I would say it's probably the best.
Because Champion of Parish is great, right, for humans, but if you're not playing humans, the best one drop outside of that is Thraben Inspector.
Yeah, I do agree. I actually think because it goes into more decks, it is a slightly better card.
Yeah, okay, maybe, yeah. I mean, it's not really as super as impactful.
There are better one drops, but none are in white.
Yeah, Mum.
She's not legal in modern.
No.
Mother of Runes is
Give
not
us
legal
Mother
in
of Runes and I'll be happy.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
That card also isn't actually legal full stop in modern because it was printed before the modern format was allowed to make it legal.
That's right.
However, we are going to move on to what is the very important topic of the conversation. We're going to split this up.
We're going to
split this up slightly.
Right?
So what we're going to do... It's all right.
Yeah.
We'll look after you tonight. What we're going to do, we're going to split it into 3 sections tonight. But the first section, which is now, we're actually going to discuss what it was. The second section of after round 2, we're going to talk about what we think it'll do for the meta. And after game 3, we'll think about what we're going to do ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
With the current format. So the main section I want to do with the second one is how we think it will change anything, if it does.
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't know, this week saw the banned and restricted announcements.
It did.
Now, what are the banned and restricted announcements within Magic the Gathering? So for those people who aren't as aware, they have them regularly, basically after each new set comes out, It normally waits till after the Pro Tour, because the Pro Tour can be defining as to whether something is broken or not, because us poor people at home normally aren't.
Before the Pro Tour as well.
It has happened before the Pro Tour when mistakes have been made, but generally it happens after the Pro Tour, because they want to see what, unless it's so really terrible format and they don't want to play it at the Pro Tour, they will normally say to something, okay, we'll leave it. Because remember, we had a Pro Tour with Copycat.
Yes.
It wasn't the best deck, Mardu Vehicles was, because they hadn't had the 4-colour version. It was Jessica at that point. We had a Pro Tour with Marvel, and it got banned after that. Felidar Guardian took too long to be banned, but that's just my opinion of it.
I don't think that was the most. I think I don't think it should have been Felidar Guardian that banned. I think it should have been the Sahili Rai, but I can understand Wizards banning a non-face card.
Do you want to know why they didn't ban Sahili Rai? Because it's a mythic.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that.
But no, actually.
But that's what I mean. Like, so I think that was probably the more.
Sahili Rai can go into more things. Felidar Guardian. Felidar Guardian was less likely to.
No, that's true.
If you ban Sahili Rai, you mean that you can't have people turn up with like I built a Grixis energy deck with Sahili Rai because you can copy a load of things in it.
Yeah.
But banning Sahili Rai,
copy clue token.
It suddenly means that like Felidar Guardian doesn't really go with anything. Also, I think if you have Felidar Guardian,
it would have been that value card.
You need to be so careful with what you print afterwards again.
Yes.
Whereas with Sahili Rai,
no, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Like they've got Chupacabra in the same set as Sahili Rai.
But that's kind of why I was talking about like Chupacabra. You had the Arborback Stomper as well. Do you remember that?
I played that. I played that in Esper last week. That was great.
I actually quite like it as a card. I think it should see more standard play.
Do you know what card's really good with Arborback Stomper? Journey to Eternity.
Panharmonicum?
No, Journey to Eternity. You get it back from the graveyard, and then you can maybe Panharmonicum them again. But
Panharmonicum.
Obviously, we're talking about the ban and restricted announcements from Monday.
Yes. So
there was no bans in Standard.
No bans in Standard. No bans in Legacy.
No bans in Vintage.
No bans in Vintage.
No bans in Pauper. No bans in Commander.
And sadly, no bans in Modern, to my disliking. But I think that's
shame.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I would have liked something. But they did unbannings, and I think they possibly did right with the unbannings as a test. I think they're getting a bit more ballsy, really. I think they're getting a bit more brave, and they're... because right now, there's nothing really broken in Modern, and I think that's the time where you just dump something on it to see.
That's the best thing about Modern, is when something's not broken.
Well, yes, but then if you're trying to test the water to see... And if they're going to be quick to respond and go, no, sorry, pull out, you know, it's like...
There's a big issue with that, and we know what the big issue with that is. It makes Wizards look... It makes their decision-making... It brings into question a little bit the decision-making for things.
I think the decision-making's been in question for a little bit of time.
I'm not going to say that on air. I'm not going to admit to that one. No,
but I mean, like, it's a bit awkward, isn't it? Like,
you have to remember that Wizards is built up of many different facets of it. You have the testing team, you have the design team, you have loads of different parts of it, and each of them has their own little thing. Now, people, like, we're all human, we all do these things, and obviously we all know that within the format that things like Felidar Guardian was a mistake, and there have been other things as well. However,
yes,
this one is a very interesting one, because it can either go one of three ways.
Yeah.
And actually there are only three ways anything can go. It breaks the format.
Yeah, yeah.
It does absolutely nothing, or it is fine.
Yeah.
I don't think the second option of do absolutely nothing is going to happen. The two cards that got unbanned or stuff like that. But what did actually happen in this ban and restricted announcement?
Well, they unbanned Jace the Mind Sculptor, or Jace the Wallet Sculptor, whoever you want to call it as.
Sorry, wait. Sorry, what?
They unbanned Jace the Mind Sculptor. Yeah, right, okay. That's the biggest.
Right. Okay.
Big hit, right? I mean, that's the big chunk of.
The other one.
The other one is unbanned Bloodbraid Elf. So. Both of those cards were banned from the start because of their reasoning. Their reasoning behind it was that they were banned because they were so powerful for that particular time, and they decided to unban it. And I think realistically...
Bloodbraid Elf didn't get banned for a while, though.
It didn't get banned for a while, but they banned that before they banned the real Boogie Bear, which was...
so for those of you who don't know, so there was a Jund mid-range deck which ran Deathrite Shamans, Tarmogoyfs, Bloodbraid Elf, Abrupt Decay, and all the really good cards. So bearing in mind, this is from Conflux.
Yes.
To Return to Ravnica, because that's when they introduced Deathrite Shaman and Abrupt Decay.
Liliana on turn 2, it's great.
And Liliana of the Veil as well. And they thought, well, clearly Bloodbraid Elf is the most powerful card in the deck, so they banned Bloodbraid Elf. And then they realised slowly down the line that actually the most powerful card in the deck was a one-mana Planeswalker.
Yeah, who knew, right?
Deathrite Shaman. So obviously Deathrite Shaman got banned, but Bloodbraid Elf never did get unbanned.
Yeah,
at that point.
Right. So
they've now gone for it.
Yeah, but I think it's okay because 4 mana do something possibly great, possibly bad, is fine, and it's still only a 3/2, so it doesn't stand up to the majority of creatures.
And it does only have haste.
It only has haste, doesn't have like first strike, it doesn't have trample or anything, any form of evasion. So for a 4 mana 3/2, it's not a good creature in the state of Modern, and it's 4 mana. So if you're coming up against a control deck and you're hitting an Abrupt Decay, I'm sure of it, it hits Search for Canter,
This
but
is the funniest
like
thing.
you could just Cascade into Abrupt Decay facing a control deck in game 1, and it'd be like, great, I've got a 4 mana 3/2 and an uncastable Abrupt Decay, which is going to get put on the bottom, right? So it happens, but then of course you can go boom, Liliana of the Veil, have fun, right? So
now, for those of you who don't know, the rule that the Blood-Braid Elf has is the rule of Cascade, which is when you cast this card, you reveal the top card of your library until you reveal a non-land card, and it is non-land because obviously a land is a 0 converted mana cost. You can't cast it. You reveal the top card of your library until you reveal a card with converted mana cost less than Blood-Braid Elf, so 3 and below. You may then play that card without paying its mana cost. You still cast it.
That's right.
You still have to cast the Cascade spell. It's the same with Living End in Modern. You still have to Cascade and cast the Living End. So for those of you at home who negate the Violent Outburst, congratulations, they still resolve their Living End. So please do remember, do not counter the Violent Outburst all the time. Sometimes you do counter the Violent Outburst because it's lethal damage on the stack, but not always counter the Living End. Now, with Blood-Braid Elf, it is a 4 mana 3/2 creature with Cascade. The decks it's going to go into generically in history have had removal. It's been junned.
Yeah.
Because like when it was in Standard, it actually fitted into the Naya shell in the green-white-red deck. But obviously within Modern, people felt that it was best situated within Jund when you have things like Abrupt Decay, you have Lightning Bolt, you have Path to Exile now.
Sorry,
not Path
so
to Exile,
suitable.
Lightning Bolt, you have Electric Brutality, you have Liliana of the Veil. You also have Colligan's Command.
Well, this is it now, because I think the creatures itself we've got access to a lot more spells since it got banned.
Yes.
Right. So the cards that have come down the line, I mean, you've got the now Fatal Push that's getting played in Jund. You have Goblin Rebel Master as a card it could cascade into if they decide to keep that in. I'm not certain what it's going to be, but I think that's the whole fun of the next sort of couple of months. I mean, that happened before, and yes, it's glorious and it's fantastic. But like you say, I think I don't think Jund is going to be the most broken with it. So I think it's going to be suitable. I think it's going to push Jund into actually being reasonably playable again, because it has slipped off the scene. It's always been a good deck, but since the rise of the big mana decks like the Eldrazi Tron, it has a very hard matchup against Eldrazi Tron. It has a very tough matchup against the Titan Shift. Yeah, so those are the big mana decks. So it just falls flat on its face to that. And any sort of green-black Tron, and they're slowly creeping up as well. I mean, green-black Tron is probably on the rise, and Eldrazi Tron's on the lower down, because Eldrazi Tron, I think, loses more to Jace type decks, sort of. I'm not certain, but
the main thing, obviously, with Blood-Braid Elf is it was unbanned because they felt it was safe to, because they believed the power level of Modern has crept to a stage where Blood-Braid Elf is probably about the right power level now. And I would actually tend to agree. Like, if you look at the creature decks that are being played at the moment, if we go with like your typical mid-range creature deck is Jund and your green-white value Coco decks. And that's the biggest, actually, the card I've just mentioned is the biggest challenge that Blood-Braid Elf faces, is that
the Coco.
Collected Company also exists in the same format. And there are decks that will not want to play Blood-Braid Elf, but it will instead want to play Collected Company. Now, I know that those of you who play the green-white value deck, you'd be much rather playing Collected Company, because it is an instant speed spell which gives you more play against the against the control decks, and also you're playing the best part of 25 plus creatures. So actually,
playing so you
actually isn't what you really want to do. Whereas your Jund decks might want to play 1, maybe 2 copies as a way of doing it. Now, obviously, Blood-Braid Elf, in our opinion, and we'll go through this obviously more later on, is fine. We're both very happy, actually. I'm
quite happy. I think
I'm really happy to see that card unbanned, because I actually want to see what it is like. I've never played with that card. I also don't think that it's particularly broken.
I did some testing with it, but it's fine.
Let's be honest. You can do some super fun brewing with that card. Just with the Cascade mechanic and Modern.
If you've been a regular on this chat before, you know that I play Teamer, so I get to play with both of the cards that have been unbanned. And I
don't know.
I'm not sure if I want Blood-Braid Elf.
I want to play 5-color mid-range for
I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the right fits for Blood-Braid Elf is yet, but I think it's good, because you got access to it. I don't necessarily really want to play Coco, because I don't run a high creature amount, right? So I want to play cards like Blood-Braid Elf, because that gives me an extra value where I can kind of outgrind the opponent to some extent and play some funky cards. Now, I can see it being particularly fun if I hit an Ancestral Visions.
Yeah, of course. But it can also be really bad when you hit your Anger of the Gods.
Counterspell or something.
Or your Anger of the Gods. Oh, the Counterspell being the prime example. And I actually think Personally, I think that Blood Red Elf is
Naya.
a amazing build around card. I think you can play it in anything. I think
Yeah,
if you're
no, it
playing
is, yeah.
green, like bearing in mind, Modern has pretty nutty mana bases.
It's-
Like you can play
yeah.
You can easily play like a Jund Abzan deck where you're playing Jund with
A
Lingering
Jundi,
Souls.
yeah.
You can play Jund with Lingering Souls, for example,
Yep.
is another way of
Yep.
great use of that. However, we both very much agree with Blood Red Elf. We think it's great. And
Yeah.
if it is broken, I will hold my hands up and say I did not see that coming, because I really don't think it will.
There might be something that breaks it. I'm not aware.
I think the power level of Modern is at a stage where a card like that won't break it, because you're casting a 4-mana creature, and you can still counter the back end of the spell it casts.
And it
Because
pretty much dies to everything that's
even if it flips
under
into a really like you're playing against control, they go, okay, let's see what you cascade into, and then they have the choice of countering what you cascade into, or the Blood Red Elf.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's 4 mana, and actually a lot of decks tap out. Whereas the Naya deck, obviously
Yeah.
casting it on turn 3
Yeah.
makes a difference. However, the one that we have had
Some
some
kind of
very
big zoo.
interesting, Big Zoo would be interesting. Brian Kibler Zoo.
Yeah, actually.
Brian Kibler Zoo. That's
Yeah.
the sort of thing you want to play with that one.
Just going into Night of the Reliquary.
Oh, you can do that in Green White as well. But what we're going to do, however, is the other side of the bannings. Now, this is where we have some very differing and some
I
very
guess so.
similar opinions.
Yeah,
we
it's-
agree on
it
some things
definitely,
and we disagree
yeah.
on others as well. Is, of course, the banning of Jace.
Unbanning of Jace.
Unbanning of Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Mm.
Now, for those of you who may be aware, the 25th anniversary edition is coming out soon, and it has things like Azusa, Lost But Seeking.
Yep.
And the primary card is Jace the Mind Sculptor. Now, we've had
No.
a chat. We've had a lot of chats about this, actually. We talked about this on Monday before
pretty
Pauper.
much, yeah.
We had a chat on Facebook chat about what we thought of it. Now, we're not going to talk about our thoughts yet. We'll do
No,
that later on.
no,
But
I
what we
think-
want to do is discuss Jace as in a vacuum as itself. Why did it get banned originally?
So it got banned as standard originally, which was one of the first. It was like one of those, oh my god, we did bad things. There is more games today, by the way, Alphas. We are just in between rounds at the moment. The went to
Players
2
have
and 0,
nearly
so
finished.
there is probably around about 24 or so.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10,
24 plus
12,
the 2, yeah.
16, 18, 20, 22, 20. It was about 26 players.
There's about 26 players at the moment,
Pretty
so
good number. Very good
we'll have
number,
4
actually.
rounds today. We've just finished the round 1, so we'll be going into round 2 shortly, just as soon as all the players have finished.
We will have to give the laptop back to the judge. Well, the computer back to the judge to put
they
in
will
his
have to.
results.
We'll have to have a quick break. But yeah, we'll be back with some magic soon. They've got 10 minutes on the round at the moment, as it stands. So hopefully they won't go to time, and if they do, we'll just slam their faces into the keyboard with Jace the Mind Sculptors.
They will be punished by Jace the Mind Sculptor for taking so long to play Magic.
Which sort of brings it.
Which brings us
slamming
very
back
nicely
to-
back around to Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Jace the Wallet Sculptors was banned in Standard for a particular reason of just being too good in Standard. The fact that it was in Standard, obviously they have to be in Standard at some point, right? So all of the cards.
Bit of back history on that one. Obviously, you look
But
at
like-
I think it was a GP or a Pro Tour that you had.
It
There was 8 decks in the top 8, so there's a
And they're all the
possibility
same.
of 36 cards, and there were 36 copies of Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah, and I think all of the
And
decks
30
were.
and
I think there was
I
only sort of
think
about
There were about 28 to 30 copies of Stoneforge Mystic in the same one, because that was how good Jace was.
Squadron Hawk and
Swords.
Batterskull.
swords.
Oh no, it was Sword. Sorry, it wasn't
Swords
Batterskull, was
at
it?
that
No,
point,
because Batterskull came in.
We're talking about the
Scars.
Core Blade era, but obviously, so
The
Jace
Core
got,
Blade, yeah.
so Jace got banned in Standard for being too powerful. Now, was he ever legal in Modern, or
No.
did he just get banned?
No,
into
no, no. He just started off because
So-
it started with extended, and then
There you go.
no.
2011 Grand Prix at Dallas. All top 8 decks had 4
4
copies. So
copies, yeah.
36 copies
Yeah.
out of 36 Jace the Mind Sculptors. Even nowadays, we don't have that. Even when Teema was at its most dominant, we didn't have 36 copies of cards within.
Marvel did pretty close, I think, at one
but
point,
the
right?
you
But
had-
there was
you
still
had
something
zombies.
else, yeah.
You had
And I
zombies,
think
which
that
was really
they've
good
learnt
against it.
since then.
Yeah.
It's still a pretty sort of poor format for Standard. Now it's great,
was.
okay, but like it's probably since like the end of Khans.
Yeah,
I
when Siege
guess
Runner
it's-
rotated out.
Siege Runner kind of made Standard a little bit boring anyway, but it
No, it didn't. It was
me.
amazing. It was a mid-range
for
format.
me,
Sorry, yeah.
it just pushed out Jeskai a little bit, so you couldn't really realistically play
Play
Jeskai
Jeskai
unless it was
Black.
Jeskai token.
sure.
I mean, yeah, you had Jeskai Black, but like.
Oh, sorry, in that
so
specific. Yes,
in
yes,
that
yes, yes.
very at the very start of Khans, when you were trying to play these like cool mid-rangey or controlly Jeskai lists, you just got Siege Rhino'd out, and it was like have fun.
But then you should Mardu people. You became Mardu
yeah,
guy.
well,
and then you
yeah,
beat
exactly.
Siege Rhinos.
Yeah, you play your Crackling Dooms. However, then you had like Butcher of the Horde as your
That was
win
great.
con.
Hordling Outburst into Butcher of the Horde was a win condition in itself.
I'm sorry for John, he's suffering from a bit of amnesia.
Sorry, 32. Sorry, you are correct. 32 copies of. It's been a long day at work. Just forgive me. 32 on 36. 32 out of 32.
Can I even math?
Can I math? No. And I'm meant to work in construction, and I'm meant to be able to do some form of maths. But
yeah.
no, 8 times 4,
But yes,
I believe, is meant to be 32. So my apologies. 32 copies out of 32.
So coming up to it, though,
8.
it was banned. It was banned for a good enough reason that it was too good in standard. It's going to be too good in modern because of the power level.
Now, obviously, there were certain. This Jace was Jace is quite a special card because it's listed amongst a select few cards that were banned at the inception of modern. We're thinking of the artifact lands.
Wild Nakato?
We're thinking of Wild
Right.
Nakato. We're thinking
Punishing
of
of Fire, Seething Song.
Valakut the Molten Pinnacle.
Valakut,
Now, Valakut
yeah.
the Molten Pinnacle is the funniest one because that
Yeah.
card was banned instantly
Yeah.
before it even came into modern, and people
Because
it's not
of
even
prime
broken
time,
now.
baby.
It still doesn't even.
But then it's here.
And also, you had Jace the Mind Sculptor and Stoneforge Mystic were 2 cards.
Oh, was
that
it
were
banned later?
banned
Okay.
instantly at the inception because they were so powerful with what they had. And in essence,
Was it
they
really
did.
banned later? I thought it came. I thought it was something part of an extended deck. I thought it was part of an extended deck that was too good, and then when it changed to being modern, it was the counter cat.
Counter cat, yeah. But
I thought it was banned. Oh, anyway, but yeah, so
banned after
Was
the first
Seething
one,
Song
of
banned?
course, so Raptor made it to
Okay.
the finals, lost to Twin. Seething was banned later. Okay, interesting. Hadn't realised that. But no, we're looking at like the real broken cards. So
But yeah.
artifact lands.
oh yeah, I mean, Disciple of the Vault, I guess, was that at the same time?
Dread
Dread
Return.
Return, yeah.
That was instantly banned.
What a shame.
Valak at the Mont Pinnacle. So Jace was one of a very sort of select group of cards which were banned at the inception of Modern. Now, Wizards believe that Modern has got to a stage in its life where it's powerful enough to make an impact on Modern, but not powerful enough to
That's right.
break Modern. Obviously, Blazing Shoal, yeah, that was another one.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Ponder,
So there was,
Preordain.
Rite of Flame, was that immediately banned? I don't think that was, right?
I
think
sure.
Rite of
Ponder,
Flame.
Ponder and Preordain.
Ponder and Preordain, sure.
But so we're looking now at a card which was instantly banned at the inception of Modern, and now believe that we are into a point where we can play it and not be
Well, that's it.
run
yeah,
over by
so,
it. So explain to us that one.
well,
So I think you read the
Jace.
description more than I did.
Well,
I didn't
yeah,
actually
no.
read it.
They figured that Jace. I think you can't unban Jace and not unban Bloodbraid Elf. So Bloodbraid Elf came off of that as a kind of a.
Counter?
Oh, blue we're giving something to blue. You can have Bloodbraid Elf because they're essentially sort of the same value engine, even though one is better than the other
So
in a vacuum.
again, another bit of history. Bloodbraid Elf has always been seen as the counter to Jace
Yeah,
because it's a hasty
yeah.
3-power creature.
Yeah.
If Jace brainstorm stuff. You could also flip Lightning, which also did the same job, and
Yeah,
they discarded
sure.
2 cards. So Jace never always was in a format where Jace and Bloodbraid Elf were together. Jace really took over when Bloodbraid Elf
Pretty much.
rotated out,
Yeah.
and you had the Core Blade era. Before that, Jace was still really powerful, but was kept a little bit more in check by these Bloodbraid Elf decks. Now, obviously, we're thinking back to that format.
So this was back when Standard, they never banned anything in Standard.
No.
This was the card that was banned in Standard.
And
So it was like it was an emergency
thing.
ban. It was like, no, we need to get rid of this card. It's banned, which never happened up until recently for Wizards. So they're kind of like going format style. Let's ban this set of cards, or Emrakul's too good. Let's ban Emrakul. Which it kind of makes sense. It kind of also makes you a bit discouraged from playing Standard because you buy into these decks. I mean, not like it's bad for Wizards, right? Because essentially the cards are already in rotation, so someone's bought them.
Yes.
But from a gaming perspective and from a store's perspective as well, so if you're a private seller, you're going to be quite annoyed that certain cards get banned because your stockpile that you've then sort of built up is meaningless. Which, okay, but for the gaming side of it, it's actually quite good for me.
What, I'm banning
to-
Jace?
No, just
Just changes to the format.
just changes to the format, because if you get too content with a particular format, it becomes a bit stale, sure, but you can always go and do something else. That's my sort of thing. Like if I get bored with Modern, which I don't, but if I did, I would just go to something else and play something different.
Now that's actually a point where we disagree slightly on. But what we're going to do, we're going to go to a very short break because it looks like the judge is about to kick us out of the table so he can do our results. Round 2 will be on us soon. What we're going to do between round 2 and 3, so in the next break, we are going to talk about the way that, the joys of the dragon shields in the background. The new, very pretty...
We have the green and the reds at the moment.
They
So
oh, they got the black one as well?
no, I don't think they've got any black ones in at the moment.
Terrible news. The black ones are the lovely ones.
Oh,
However,
they do actually.
we are going to take a very short break. We are going to go back into round 2 very
Just
shortly. We've
green
got
and
about
red.
2 or 3 minutes left. The the TO will put the results in, and we'll be back. Between round 2 and 3, we're going to talk
Yes.
about what our thoughts are.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
we'll either do what we think it'll do to the format, and then
Yep.
our personal thoughts, or we'll
Yeah.
do our personal thoughts, and then we'll talk about
Yep.
what we think it'll do to the format. But anyways, we'll be back very shortly with round number 2 of coverage here from Darksphere.
Enjoy. Go have a drink.
See you shortly.
Because that's what I'm
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to round number 2 of coverage here from Darkshire in London's Wednesday Night Modern. John Partridge, Chris Wingwave. We're going to go straight down to the feature match area. Yes, we have 2 lovely stacks of deck sleeves in front of us, which will be being removed before the end of the day. Chris' face has now been replaced by our deck boxes. We have another black-white deck. However, this is not the Taxes deck. This is purely black-white Eldrazi versus a man after my own heart. 4-color Bring to Light. We're going to send it down to the feature match area. The players are ready. We'll give them the thumbs up, and we'll be good to go. So,
getting straight into it, let's get rid of Blood Braid Elfer.
And let's go for...
Roll on the dice, see who goes first. It looks like George has won the die roll.
Which seems good for the 4-color Bring to Light deck.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, wait.
Yeah, just quick count.
Yeah.
So, Bring to Light. 3 green-blue. Converge. Search your library for a creature, instant, or sorcery card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of colours of mana spent to cast Bring to Light. Exile that card and shuffle your library. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Now, normally, it fetches 1 card.
Yes.
Is a card called Scape and Shift? Well, no, it's just Scapeshift. There is just one word. It is Scapeshift. It's 4 green.
Not only that card, though, it can be done for.
And, however, it can also go and get other things. For example, if he is playing the black splash, he can go get a Damnation.
Yep.
Gonna have to calm down, apparently.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear. Players can hear us. We're gonna have to quieten down. Better turn up the music.
There we go. Right, so.
Better ramp up the music, boys.
Ramped up the music a little bit, so hopefully it drowns it out. But I think the people are just too quiet today. That's a shame.
Not enough talking, apparently.
There's not enough talking, but then shuffling up. But anyway, yeah, so you're on talking about the Bring to Light then.
Oh, love that deck. Search for Tomorrow. Security Drive Elder, Cryptic Command Remand, a few removal spells dotted around here and there, but mainly just trying to get 7 lands, cast a Scapeshift, and 18 damage to your opponent. Carl looking at his multi-6 here with his Black-White Eldrazi deck. It's actually not too bad for the Black-White Eldrazi deck.
Yeah, so...
But when you go to 5, it's a little bit worse.
Yeah. So Carl has actually been playing this deck for about a year now. He's started in the Pro Tour over the Gatewatch.
Oh, wow.
And when he first, so
or
for this,
he went to the Pro Tour.
I believe he said so.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Wow.
Something like that. Anyway, he was a big proponent of this particular deck, so I think he has to keep this. Like 2 lands and another land on top, which gets shuffled to the bottom.
No, that was a Displacer.
Oh, was it Displacer? Okay. Yeah.
Concealed Courtyard to start, so it's the it's the
so he actually has all of this deck foiled except for 2 things. Carl. No, he's got them foiled. Wow. He's got 3 copies of Liliana in the main, apparently. I was just talking to him very quickly before. There's 2 cards that aren't foiled, and one of them is a Concealed Courtyard, which is this thing here, and 1 copy of the Lingering Souls is not foiled. So
terrible letdown here from Carl. Better get that sorted out before.
He'll get it sorted out. He is going to GP Lyon. So you might see this deck at the very top tables. He is very, very good with this. I've had I don't know whether you call it pleasure or displeasure.
Oh wow, the Mutavault from the. We're going to see a Romantic. Interesting.
Yeah,
so
we go
obviously
back
no
to
removal spell in hand for Georges, and he's going to untap and draw for the turn. Looks like he has a Farseek in play. He has a Farseek in hand, which he can go.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a suitable thing.
Yeah, for this, like Farseek, and then you get to play a tap land, or you've got a couple of lands in hand. Looks like he has.
That's an odd sort of looking card. It looks like a promo. Yeah, I don't know.
He's going to Farseek anyway, so I'm sure we'll soon find out. So, Bloodbraid Elf and Jason Mindsculptor are not legal until Monday.
Yep, so
coming Monday.
So even Lyon is not ready. Yeah, that's right.
If you're going to Lyon, you don't have to play against the format of Jason Mindsculptor and Bloodbraid Elf.
Yes, they are still banned online as well until that date, and I think they're going to do a patch slightly after that date. So I think online it hits slightly later. For some particular reason. I'm not sure, not certain, but we'll see. It'd be nice to see...
yes, so we are on the Black Splash. We are on the Black Splash.
Okay. So, Damnation's
available,
possibility.
Slaughter Games as well. For
Slaughter Games. Slaughter Games not so good in this matchup.
Abrupt Decay, Abrupt Decay as well.
Nice.
It looks like has
Maelstrom Pulse, I imagine.
He has a Bring to Light in hand already, and we're up to a... wow, so we're going for
so
the
you have
Grave. Yep, so
you got all 5 colours? Oh, 4 colours, sorry.
An Overgrown Tomb, Watery Grave. I think we're going to see a pretty good turn here of
Inquisition. Still doesn't hit.
Oh wow, we have a Maelstrom Pulse in hand. Double. That is 3 copies of Bring to Light. Yep, let's get rid of that Maelstrom Pulse. That is not being permitted in this game. And we're going to see
it's the only legal target for it anyway.
It does mean that we have plenty of turns of discarding before we kill him. We're going to see
which with the Liliana, yes. Now, do you just get rid of one of the Bring to Lights? Yeah, because you want to go up on the land count to 7. Carl is still at 20 though.
Oh, so we are going to go to discard. I think we get rid of one of the Bring to Life.
Yeah, I think that's
But you've got 3
sensible.
copies in hand. I don't
You
think
have
need the
loads.
extra ones. Your opponent has 1 card in hand.
Yep.
Which we know is an Eldrazi Displacer, but his opponent doesn't, which does mean that we are in a position where we
Exactly,
can
yes, that's right.
probably take the risk of just discarding a Bring to Light and not getting completely blown out by it. You can obviously discard other cards that don't do as much.
Leaving yourself with 2 in hand, even if that is another copy of like a Thoughtseize or something, Carl will need to then draw another hand disruption spell to completely wreck this, which is possible. Well, you've got the other uptick on.
Oh wow,
Lily.
he's actually going for the discard of the Steam
Wow, okay,
deck.
so
that is definitely a surprise.
what can you get with Bring to Light then for 4? Or for Cryptic Command? Okay.
You can go for ramp spells. That's possibly what he's going to do here. Or he might go for, if he has another Maelstrom Pulse in the deck, he might go get that.
Right,
so Bring to Light for 4, which does mean he has 4 cards available, which means he can go get
But it's not just 4, is it? It's 4
no,
or less.
Oh wow, we're going for Hunting Wilds.
Ah, okay. So that's the reason why he got rid of one of the lands then.
So Hunting Wilds, for those of you who do not know, is a 3 and a green. You search your deck for 2 forest cards. That is forests. So you can fetch dual lands, put them into play tapped.
Not basic plans. Yep. Is the MTGO unbanned from today? Oh, it's from today, is it? Oh, wow. Okay, I thought it was slightly later.
So
what a strange thing.
Hunting Wilds, the sorcery with Kicker, they do become 3/3s if you have 8 mana in play, but it does mean that at the moment he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands, which does mean that another Bring to Light is not lethal to Carl yet.
That was one of the cards that you could play if you had an abundance of mana and they had like sort of removed your Scapeshifts from the deck, right? As a win con, so you just go, ha Kicker and
So Eldrazi Displacer here.
Displacer seems
at the
pretty
moment,
good.
Jordan still doesn't have him dead unless he draws another land, so we do need to find it. So we're going to discard a card.
He has 1 land in hand, right, George?
I'm not sure at the
Still?
moment because he discarded 1.
He discarded 1, but he had 2. He had a Stomping Grounds and a.
In play.
Oh no, he can't. Oh, yeah, of course he passed.
So
yeah,
if
okay.
he finds a land, this is
so
lethal. Or a Scourge Tribe Elder.
Yeah.
Which also does it.
Which I think he has, right? Is that what he drew?
It looks like no, he drew a Steam Vent.
Okay.
Which means he does have lethal damage with this Bring to Light.
How many mountains do they run in the deck then?
10.
10.
You just double Valakut.
Yeah.
Which is
he's not tapping the other mana.
Kiora. Oh wow, hello.
I like. Is that
hello.
Kiora the Crashing Wave?
I believe so. Yes. So we're going to see Scapeshift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to discard them all. We're going to double Valakut 6 mountains, 36 points of damage to your face. Good
Seems
sir.
good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
well,
and 8.
That's
So there's a Cinderglade,
there's
Damnation,
there's one there.
and
have
Basic
one more.
Mountain.
Yep.
He also hasn't
Yeah,
fetched up the
there you go.
He also never fetched up the Basic Mountain, so he
yes,
still had those.
yeah.
36 points of damage straight to Carl's face.
Now I still think Carl is probably.
He's fine in this matchup.
In this matchup, he's fine because of the amount of hand disruption that this runs.
Yep.
So, as you can see, he's pulling Collective Brutality to the front there, which seems like a very good thing in this matchup. And a Gideon actually comes to the front, which I think is good because the George's plan probably goes to slightly creature-based after
so
sideboard. So,
now, Grafstigger's Cage doesn't work against Bring to Light, does it? Because you don't actually play it from your library. Let's have a look at Grafstigger's Cage.
Let's have a look at Grafstigger's Cage and have a look at Bring to Light again. But if you have any questions in the chat about anything, really, just go ahead and ask, and we will be immediately responding with something amazing and fun. Maybe amazing, maybe not fun. We shall see. So, Grafstigger's has the apostrophe.
Oh, yes.
Not that. Apostrophe. Yeah. Good old MTG with its apostrophes.
In the right and the wrong place. There we go. So Grafstigger's Cage. Creatures can't enter the battlefield from graveyards or libraries. Players can't cast cards in graveyards or libraries. So it doesn't work against Bring to Light because Bring to Light exiles the card and then you cast it. So it actually brings it out your deck, exiles it, and then you cast it. So Grafstigger's Cage won't work. It will work against the Snapcaster Mage.
Yes.
Maybe singular, maybe dubular.
Dubular, entendre. So we've actually got quite a big mix of decks. At the top, I've seen someone's playing Mardu Pyromancer again.
Storm.
So one of these things, and there's Storm at the top tables. There's
Death
an
Shadow.
Abzan. There's Death Shadow. We actually have the Bantal Eldrazi guy back playing Bantal Eldrazi.
Yep.
We also have a graveyard-based decks of someone's own making with Boneyard Worms.
I believe we also
and
have a Mirror of the
Bone
Sky Ruin.
Hoarder.
Yep, we also have a
thing?
Mirror
A Mirror of the Sky
Ruin.
Ruin. Oh, okay.
Is another one. We have Thop to Sword combo.
I see a Collected Company combo deck, already in the room. If he's playing it, he might be on something different. But
plenty of diversity.
Ethan is on Treasure Hunt. Oh no, sorry, Treasure Cruise. No, not Treasure Cruise. Treasure Hunt Swans.
Okay. Oh, Swans of Brinagal, yes.
Swans of Brinagal and Treasure Hunt. I can't say Treasure Cruise.
Don't say Treasure Cruise. That card is not legal.
No, unfortunately.
Fortunately.
Broke the.
Fortunately, is not legal.
It broke the format already once.
Yes, don't do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Carl had a pretty good multi-5. That was a pretty good mulligan to 5.
Oh, you're talking about the card resolved from...
It's part of the resolution.
It's
cast straight away.
It's straight away, right? Yeah. So if you did have anything like, for instance, Quicken to allow you to not be sorcery speed, then you
still cast it straight away.
You still cast it straight away, yeah, because it's like miracles in a sense.
So exile that card, shuffle your library. You may cast that card without its mana cost. So you do it straight away. You don't get to do anything else.
Yeah.
You obviously do all the things. You shuffle your library and then you cast it. Obviously, most Scapeshift players will shortcut because they will generally have. They'll just go show you this and then search for all my lands.
Yeah, that's right.
If you wanted to be really pedantic about it, you would shuffle it all, hand it, cut it, and then go search for
we saw his hand just then. We saw 2 copies of Scapeshift. How many Scapeshifts do they run in the Spring to Light deck, roughly?
2 or 3.
Is it 2 or 3? Right, because obviously the ability to have just play 4 Bring to Lights, right, is a lot better than, say, playing 4 Scapeshift and 2 Bring to Lights.
Yeah. So we're going to see Relic Progenitors here for
that seems particularly
Carl,
useful.
However, he may not have... Oh, no, he does have a second land in the form of a Shambling Vent, a Crack of the Fetch land here from Georges, and he's going to go search up his first land, which I imagine will be a Breeding Pool. Now, a lot of these decks went away from the Flooded Groves because they were trying to play 4 colours instead.
Yes,
so Breeding Pool's always a good one to start on, but he's going to go for the Watery Grave instead. Now, this
maybe looking for some kind of...
So originally, the Bring to Light deck only ran like 1 black spell in Damnation, or when you were in white, you ran Wrath of God or Day of Judgment alongside an Anger of the Gods. But then obviously, as it's gone forward, they've started to run obviously Fatal Push because that's available. You also get to run Maelstrom Pulse because you get to fetch it with Bring to Light, and playing more copies of the removal spells is quite good in the deck. We're going to see a Relic of Progenitors activation.
Did they ever run any gifts package? No.
They did at one point because you could resolve it through. You could attempt to cast it through. Oh wow, Liliana resolves. That is huge for Carl.
No remands either.
You could run gifts. You ran gifts when you had like. Oh wow. Hello, Obstinate Baloth. We have a winner.
Oh,
that card has not seen sideboard play for a very long time, and Carl, unfortunately, playing straight into it, which means Liliana is going to bite the dust.
But you have to do the uptick with Lily, unfortunately.
That's probably why George was like, "Yeah, sure, it resolves."
Yeah,
so I'm just going to make.
Yeah,
this,
of course. Yeah,
which seems pretty good. We're going to see 2 mana being cast for a Sakura Tribe Elder.
Wow.
And we're going to go on. We have another Liliana, but.
So the Obstinate Baloth just doing a great impression of I'm better than Liliana.
Yes.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, who'd have thought? Now, it's actually interesting because the 4-colour Brings to Light Scapeshift deck fell out of favour quite heavily more recently with the format changing slightly. We're going to see Cryptic Command disappearing from the Collective Brutality. Now, the challenge...
Which one do you want?
I mean, you don't... I don't think you sacrifice the Sakura Tribe Elder. You don't have to. You're also insulated against Liliana.
Yeah, exactly, right. And
maybe
at this stage, like... You need to get a big fat creature on the board, which I think is what Carl's plan is next time, because Smasher still deals with the Baloth. And they haven't changed their life totals at the moment. They need to go...
Yep,
George needs to be on 20... Well, maybe it is 20, but...
no, because he took 2 from the Godless Shrine, so I'll go just get the life totals updated.
He did, didn't he? Yeah, we're just going to get that updated quickly, and John will come straight back. He's just sorting that out now. So, I mean, Baloth is going to be a bit of a reasonable clock here. I'm not sure exactly what Carl's on. I know he's noting it down on the side, but like, yeah, hopefully they'll get used to pressing it on the little tablet to the side. Or I think it's a laptop or tablet, whatever it is, on the side there. And we'll get the live totals updated for everyone there, because it's not 20 versus 20. It's going to be a bit more reasonable, and it should be updated. So Carl is on 14. Let's see what George is on. George should be around about... Is he on 23? Wow, okay. There we go. Seems good. So Carl is on 14, George is on 23.
You see Search for Tomorrow cast here.
We're
going to see the Liliana, Liliana of the Veil coming in and getting rid of the Obstinate Baloth. Again, you don't have to sacrifice Sakura Tribe Elder straight away. Sometimes you've got to hold on to these cards.
Yeah.
And it does, I would have kept it just to insulate it.
I think that was a sensible plan, right? Well, so Alexi's just jumped in. Black-White Eldrazi has been on camera twice, technically, because we've had Black-White Eldrazi and Taxes. This incarnation. Now, Carl has richly been probably one of the starting players to play it around here, and he's been doing so well in the local meta of London that other people are now playing this deck, almost card for card.
I actually really enjoy playing against the black-white deck. It's really interesting to play
yeah,
against.
it is. It's got the two best removal spells typically in the format of Path and Push. So, and you got backed up Liliana and big creatures. So yeah, why not? And it's a deck that has essentially all of the Jund and / Abzan things, but then doesn't die to its own resolved 4 Relic of Progenesis that are in the main. And it does really well. Yeah. And he has been crushing it, really. I think 4 or 5 people have picked up the deck now because Carl has been doing so well with it recently. Ooh. In tournaments all around as well. But I think now...
Oh, wow. This is a huge turn here for Carl. He's going to be able to strip both cards here from George's hand. We're going to see both Scapeshifts in the bin. That is huge. I'm not sure how many copies are left in the deck. Still Snapcaster Mage, possibly, but it means that George's is out of cards.
Yeah. So how many Snapcaster Mages do they run normally?
Possibly 1.
Possibly 1, right? Okay.
I always ran 2 because I like the insurance policy.
Yes.
But wow.
Off the top. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Boom.
Well,
he ruffle slammed that down onto the windmill slammed it.
It does turn out. It does turn. Turns out you can't Thoughtseize the top of your opponent's library.
Yeah, why not, right? You're not land control, so...
That was pretty pretty good there for Georges to top deck the Scapeshift off the top. Carl, unfortunately, with a fantastic play, able to restrict his entire hand and then die to the top of his opponent's deck, which is interesting enough. Before Bring to Light was legal, I played a very interesting 4-color version of Scapeshift.
All right, okay.
When it was just Rug, because you could play Clutch of the Undercity.
Which does?
It is a... You're going to love this one. You will definitely appreciate this one.
So Clutch of the Undercity, it's something I'm aware of. I just don't know the exactities of it. But I will probably remember it.
So it's 1 blue, blue, black, instant, return target permanent to its owner's hand. It loses 3 life. It transmutes for Scapeshift.
Yeah.
So this was before Bring to Light. This was the fun tech that I had.
Yeah.
It was another way of top decking Scapeshift to win the game, but obviously we're going to see another 2-0 actually.
Fun. It was another 2-0, yeah. And
that was hilarious. That
you
was
would think that some kind of hand disruption deck would have quite a lot of game against...
You need a clock.
Yes.
So
now that deck...
Liliana's great.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a clock with it, the Scapeshift player plays so well off the top of his deck. You have lands. You have cards that search for lands.
Yep.
And you have Scapeshifts.
Yep.
So you can't... If you make Liliana, your opponent has no cards in hand. Unless you ultimate Liliana, then you're going to be... You're going to be struggling a lot. But what that does mean is that 4-color Bring to Light Scapeshift, which hasn't seen a lot of play very recently, has marched on to 2-0.
Yeah,
and
so...
Black-White Eldrazi suffers a loss on camera.
Yes, which is interesting because now, well,
1-on-1 now.
One stacks is one sort of big stuff, but
it's the same deck. Rose Thought here.
Yeah, but it's
a few differences. One's
there's
more value.
Quite a lot of differences.
One's more big value mid range. The other
one doesn't play Aether Vial. One does. One doesn't play Leonin Arbiter, Thalia.
One plays Liliana.
Lingering Souls.
They do play Lingering Souls in the black-white decks.
Both
of them normally.
My list does, because I think Lingering Souls is rude. If you're playing black and you're playing white and you're not playing Lingering Souls, you're doing it wrong. So
what you do see there is one of the reasons that Scapeshift, the 4-color one, was always good in the mid-range matchups, because eventually you can just top deck the win, and your opponent sometimes can't do anything about it. But that does bring us to the end of that round of coverage. We're going to jump back to the wonders of the banned and restricted announcement, because I think a lot more people are interested in that.
I think so, yeah. Because let's see your opinions in chat as well. If you are listening right now and you have an opinion on the unbans, or watching
as well is good.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Then go for it. Ask us a few questions. Let's have a get. Let's get some comments and see exactly what you guys think about the unbannings. Maybe we can give you our sort of feedback on it, and we can start off by talking about sort of the initial impact. Are people going to want to play them?
Do we want to talk about our feeling? Oh, let's do the initial impact.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to start with?
So let's just start with Jace. Let's kick it right in.
Do I think people are going to play Jace? Yes. Do I think that all people are going to afford Jace? No.
No.
Do I think that money will be an issue to play Jace?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it spike to £100 in
so
places,
within
€90 in others.
It was €90 about sort of 3 hours after after it was listed as being unbanned. So before it was about 35, 40 euros roughly.
Because
I think
it's obviously legacy playable and obviously played
it's
in
still
the
great
big
card
Eternal formats.
In the big Eternal formats, yeah, it's a great card.
So what you're saying is it almost doubled in price.
A bit more,
the
almost tripled. Basically, almost tripled.
So if anyone hedged their bets and bought their own Jaces for 35, congratulations, you are a hero.
Pretty much,
Because for those of us who didn't, I'm not going to play Jace.
It's difficult to judge really with the pre-bans. They did say they were going to unban something, so I think most people thought Stoneforge Mystic because white isn't overly played as a strong individual color except for the Death and Taxes deck. There's no other deck that just plays white as its main color, is there? Really? There's nothing in Modern that just plays white. But the problem with Stoneforge Mystic...
The green white decks exist. Stoneforge Mystic's too powerful.
Yeah, okay. I don't think Stoneforge Mystic is as powerful as, say, Jace.
I do.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah.
No?
I think it's much more powerful than Jace.
So it dies to the removal, which was the trigger, the thing, and it's not bringing a Battle Skull until turn 5.
So Modern's much for a format where you get to... I think Stoneforge Mystic
it generates value, but no more...
I think Stoneforge Mystic's more powerful because it costs 2 mana. You make it on turn 2 on the play, and you don't really mind making Jace on turn 4.
There's quite an abundance of great answers in Modern right now.
We're speaking hypothetically, yeah, but there's many great answers to Jace as well.
Well, I've actually... not so much, really, because it's a Planeswalker. Because it's a Planeswalker, it sort of jumps up. So if you can protect a Planeswalker... admittedly, if you can protect Stoneforge Mystic again, sure, okay. But there's going to be stages where, like, the...
I agree. I think it'll be interesting.
Sure. I think it was the safer ban.
I think Stoneforge Mystic's so dangerous to unban because it limits your artifact space, your equipment space for the eternity of Magic existence. You have to be so much more careful.
That would probably be what... But they haven't printed anything reasonable recently.
But you can't still because of Legacy. You can't print like a 7-mana ridiculous equipment that's like broken in hell. No, they're not legal.
Yeah, they're not legal tonight. No, they are still not legal until Monday morning.
You're still able to play with Stoneforge Mystic for 2 mana, especially when you're playing against decks that don't kill Stoneforge Mystic. For example, control decks.
So
where was Stoneforge Mystic really good? Against control decks. Because you have to path it, so you're giving them the advantage of having.
If it resolves, sure.
Yeah. Again, it's a turn 2 play.
People play Spell Snare.
Not that many.
Yeah, I mean, okay, sure. But they still then have to resolve the Battle Skull or whatever they want to get from it. Yeah, and of course, like, Sword of Fire and Ice is a great card.
Yes.
Battle Skull is a great card.
Well, it's like, not just Battle Skull we're looking at. We're looking at
but those cards, they're still legal, but they're not played.
But they would be.
There's still tutoring effects in this.
But it allows you to get these swords into play for very cheaply if you can protect it, and it allows you to tutor for the sword that you need.
It does allow you to tutor for the sword, right?
So
but there's still cards that are cheaper that allow you to tutor for the sword and get it into your hand, and they're not seeing play right now. So, and the fact that Colligan's Command exists and is played more in Modern, and there's still things like Thoughtseize and Inquisitions from all these Death Shadow decks, not just the Death Shadow decks, but exclusively the Death Shadow decks, which are quite a big portion of the meta. I think Stoneforge Mystic would have been safe because it dies to every form of removal in the game, pretty much. There's not really one thing that's overly played.
I think we may generally agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, like
I think its design space is why. It's why a lot of cards have been. It's why a lot of cards have been banned in Standard, for example. Recently, design space like Marvel itself was far too powerful because whenever you looked at a new card, it's like, oh, this Nilka Bolas is really cool. How much does it cost? 4 mana. It never cost 8 or 7 because you just made it through the Marvel.
Yeah.
So it's this whole design space. So it means that Wizards may struggle, which is why I'm always against unbanning things like Stoneforge Mystic. Jace, on the other hand, I think is the price tag's going to be the biggest challenge with Jace.
I think the awkwardness around that was that it
does it feel like they printed it for the new set?
I don't think Blue needed any help. No, that's kind of my big issue with it, right? Jeskai been doing really, really well. And does Jeskai want to play Jace? Probably is like a 2 of or a 1 of, maybe 1 on the side or whatever. Is it going to mean they're better against the decks that they were doing bad against? No.
Because what were they bad against? Tron decks.
Yeah, and it does nothing. It generally does nothing in the matchups where they were losing, so it seemed a bit strange. Blue-white controls can probably just jam 3 in,
blue-white control
right?
So because it wants that sort of card.
Yeah, it wants that card, and sometimes it has problems with certain creatures.
Yes, the unsummon effect is very relevant on.
Sure, and maybe even bouncing your Snapcaster Mages back to your hand or whatever.
That is also a good one.
So it seems odd that they had unbanned it at that stage, but it seems like they needed to have a response card to the Bloodbraid Elf, which they had planned. I think that was kind of set in stone. I think it was set in stone that they were unbanning Bloodbraid Elf, and then they kind of thought, what can we do to sort of have the 2 pillars of what was banned at one point? And I think they kind of chose okay, but it's just odd that it's come at this time where Blue hasn't really needed the help, and I think it's White that needs a help at the moment to sort of
I
get a.
think
But then there's nothing really that's been banned in white. So.
No, there's not. White has definitely seen probably the least number of bannings overall. But
yeah.
I think one of the challenges with Jace is what I think if you look at Modern, and I don't have a huge problem with either of the bans.
No, I think
I understand
the unbans, yeah.
I understand why they unban them.
Yep.
I don't agree with unbanning them. There's one main reason for this.
Yeah.
And I've always stood by this for many formats. The other few reasons are obviously the price.
For specifically one of the cards, yeah.
A lot of people are then going to play him badly. But that's not a problem as well. Does it change the metagame in any way? And my biggest bugbear with what Wizards have done is Modern didn't need any changes at all. Modern is an incredibly people were flocking to, like if you remember the Pro Tour beforehand, all the pros were slating Modern off left, right and centre. They went to the Pro Tour and all of them were going, God, this format's amazing.
Well, I mean,
forget standard, this format. And even people like Brian BBD and Brad Nelson, who were very much standard advocates, they play that format the most.
Well, yeah, of course they do, yeah.
And even the best one, even Yuri started to love Modern.
So our local person.
Our local Modern hater. But no, but seriously, like even Yuri, got on the back of it because it is a hugely diverse open format.
Efro as well.
So many different decks. Like look at the top 8. Seven archetypes in the top 8. That doesn't happen regularly.
And then next GP, there's another.
There's at least
there was
6 archetypes.
6 in that one, but they were different as well to the ones
and
from
the
before.
burn decks were both different.
Yes, they were. Yeah,
one
so
was with,
one was had ensnaring bridges on the side.
Yes, exactly.
Right, sure. So like Efro as well. Whose full name is Eric Froelich. He's been a massive hater of Modern for such a long time, and he still particularly doesn't like it as much, but he likes it more than Standard. So, which isn't hard at this particular moment. I mean, there's a lot of variants now in Standard, and it seems like everyone hasn't landed properly yet, and they've just gone slightly bit disheartened about it.
You can brew in Standard again. It's wonderful.
Yeah, sure. But I think ultimately that you've got to. We will find a deck list as well for the Black White Eldrazi and Black White Eldrazi deck.
MTG
later. Well, it's not really. It's his own sort of. It's really only in London. I've honestly not seen it anywhere else or anything sort of 5-0ing.
There may be a way of when these videos go up on YouTube.
We will try and get a list
we might be able to
posted
up. Comments within the YouTube channel.
But so exclusively Jace, right? So they unbanned Jace, and it seemed. For the first sort of 10 minutes, it was like, oh, look, they've just slam dunk Modern into the graveyard. Basically, it seemed like what everybody's initial reaction were. But then when you sat down and thought about it, it was like, well, actually, decks like Humans don't really care. Decks like Affinity don't really care. So all of the fast aggro decks of the format, Burn doesn't care. Lantern Control certainly doesn't care about any of them, short of cascading into.
Jace does win the game still with its ultimate.
It does, but it can get pithing needled.
But then you're maybe playing a deck that allows him to deal with it. I think.
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah. So, but the good thing about this is now, like, Lantern Control kind of gets hurt because Jund decks are going to get played more, and Jund actually does well against Lantern Control.
Abrupt Decay, Colligan's Command.
Maelstrom Pulse in the main.
Liliana.
And you've got Inquisitions to get rid of all their bridges and stuff, and Thought Seizers. Liliana works as well. So yeah, you've got lots of good access, and you can turn off their loop with Scavenging Ooze. So literally, most of your cards do something quite relevant in that matchup. It's an awful matchup for Lantern Control, and they saw a bit of rise when Jund had slipped down.
Yes.
Abzan doesn't do as well because it doesn't have access to every single bit of those cards.
Has some of them.
It has some of them. Now,
it's missing
people are saying
the challenge is it's missing Colligan's Command.
Yeah. People are saying now that you're just going to see Lantern Control with Jace, and no,
I don't.
Tezzeret does so much more.
Yeah, I think Tezzeret's better in that deck because he actually wins the game. He does kill you a lot faster because of the artifact synergy.
Kills you so much faster.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be scared about that coming from that sort of archetype anyway. Where else could it be played? The Jace? Probably in Teemo. Would it make Teemo slightly better?
Mid-range decks.
Yes.
Blue mid-range decks would be pretty good, I think.
And I think for once you might actually see Teemo coming up to be quite a considerable force to be reckoned with. You
Bant.
get to play Bant as well. Yeah, I would love to see Bant again
playing like a Knight of the Reliquary mid-range deck where you have Jace as another part of your win condition.
Yes.
It's certainly the other way. Obviously, you lose out. Maybe you lose out on some of the collector companies, but you play more of a mid-range thing.
So I think with Bloodbraid Elf, it's making this weird thing
I love
where
the Blood Braid Elf.
Blood Braid Elf is kind of like a Coco, in a sense.
Yeah, it's pretty random,
right?
Coco.
So is Coco.
That's true. Coco is a very
Coco, you can go nothing, or you can go. At least with Blood Braid Elf, you're always getting a spell. It might not be relevant, but you are always getting a spell. So, whereas you can go Coco and you can get 2.
Fails.
Yeah, right.
You can just
and you're always getting a creature as well once you're casting it. So
or a spell, but you get to cast something.
Yeah,
like even if it's
right?
like a Retreat to Coral Helm or a Path to Exile, there is
so you
something
don't have to
target.
go all in on creatures, where you can actually have some relevant burn spells or whatever. So like we were saying, you go Naya, and you can actually have a fun time burning people out with Boros Charms and...
You can go 4 colour, you can go like green, white.
Yeah.
You can go 5 colour if you really wanted to.
Yeah, sure.
For the hell of it.
But it seems like an interesting thing that now is an option. And I think Coco... Yeah, I mean, the Coco Collector Company combo decks are still going to show up. They're still going to be really quite useful and good. And they're not going to want to run Blood Braid Elf. However, I played last night against a Death and Taxes player, but he was building up Modern Maverick.
Okay, yep.
And he did it with a red splash.
Okay.
So instead of having the black splash, he had the red splash.
Of the Moon.
For Magus of the Moon, he had Blood Braid Elf as well. So he has his big win package is 9 to the Reliquaries. He has
Blood Braid Elf.
Blood Braid Elf. He has 1 copy of Thalia, the Little Thalias, the Fauna Shaman as well.
Yep.
Scrib Ranger.
Yep.
And let me think now. So there was Renegade Rallier as well. Renegade Rallier and Lotus Cobra, Rumen Up Excavator. So really quite fun. It's Naya, but it's a small bit of Naya, although it is running the various lands as well, because it can search them up Wolf Run and Township. Yeah.
Ghost Quarters. Yeah.
Ghost Quarter.
Standard green white base.
It's basically Maverick, but with the red splash for the Renegade for the. Yeah.
The question still does come: is it better than Collector Company?
Yes, in that deck it is, because you consistently hit the creatures, and whatever creature it is, it doesn't really matter. It's still hitting something quite relevant, unless it's a mana dork, sure, but you can hit that with Collector Company, right? But you're always getting the 3/2. So the 3/2 is actually quite a powerhouse in that deck because of the random. Even if you hit a noble, it's still +1/+1 for when you attack. Like if that's the only creature you have on your board. And all of your other effects, like your lands, do something. So it was good. It was powerful. And against like other creature decks, I think that's probably one of the powerful things. And when you've got Fauna Shaman as well, you can tutor up your silver bullets. You can find exactly what you need. No, it was great. And playing against it with my Death and Taxes deck, I couldn't get a board state where I could control all of his creatures, really. Unless I did have a game against him where I just like Lingering Souls them out, but that
does happen sometimes.
It happens. And the mana base is quite painful as well for playing the Naya, so... But I think, no, Blood Braid Elf is really good. And like you were saying, you want to start doing stuff with Blood Braid Elf.
My biggest joy of Blood Braid Elf is it's a really good build-around card.
Yeah.
Jace is not a build-around card.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
card is individually obnoxious. Blood Braid Elf on its own is pretty average. It's a 4-mana 3/2.
Yes, that's right.
But what it does allow you to do is do some really, really interesting deck building. You can play the Naya decks, you can play the Jund decks, you can play a 4-colour version, you can play 5-colour mid-range because Cascade works in such a way you can do that. You can play it in your Blue Moon decks, which is something you were saying.
I was thinking it's possible. Yeah,
it's possible because you can just Cascade into a Blood Moon.
Yeah, it seems like it's slightly better and. Not slightly better, sorry. Seems like it is good in the Team of Moon deck at the moment because of cascading. I mean, you can cascade into counter spells, and that's pretty bad.
Less of them.
But there is less of them.
And also, you can't cascade into Cryptic, which is your most important counter spell.
No, and you don't always...
Although cascading into your Remand does allow you to Remand the Blood Braid Off.
Yeah, I mean, as a card draw thing, sure. But you've got the ops that are in there, I'll probably switch back to Ancestral Visions. So going into Ancestral Visions is quite nice. Serum Visions, Ancestral Visions,
Blood Moon, spells.
Some removal spells, bolts and electrolyzers and things. Tarmogoyfs, tireless trackers.
There's plenty of things.
Yeah, so
that sounds pretty good. Cascade my Blood Braid Elf into my tireless tracker.
And I might move a couple of Pulsar Marassas into the main. So if you cascade into them, you can get back maybe an old Blood Braid Elf and do it again. Gain 6 life.
What it is a lovely value card. It is not broken. Even if it is, again, as I said earlier in stream, I will hold my hands up and say I'm wrong.
Maybe there's a card printed that
I think it is an incredibly good build-around card. It's an incredibly enjoyable build-around card. Again, having something as an alternative to Collected Company
Yeah, exactly, right.
It's
There's
something
nothing really else.
It's a good thing because
Yeah.
people have been saying, "Oh, Collector's going to be so powerful." So yes, it is. It is a really powerful card.
Yeah.
Welcome to Modern, for example.
Yeah.
But what it does allow you to do is play a very different card. Now, we're going to take a short break here between rounds 2 and 3. We'll be back with round 3 of coverage soon. We're then going to give you a bit more of our detailed opinions following
Yeah,
on
we'll
from
be
what we
back
see
in
from
probably
here.
around about 10-15 minutes.
Yep.
That the end of the round is in 13 minutes as we speak.
And,
So
there's a
we'll
couple of
see.
tables still
Yeah, there is
going.
a couple of tables still going. A couple of the top tables.
Yeah.
I think all of the
We'll
all of
have
the
a
top
look in a
tables are finished.
We'll
So
have a look in a minute, but there's
yeah.
still some play going on now. We're obviously
That's
going
right.
to talk we'll give you round 3. We'll then wax lyrical a little bit more about what we think of the bannings, what we think
That's
it will
right.
do for the format, and what we hope or hope it won't happen, hope will happen, and have a little bit more fun. But what we're going to do is take a short break. Hope you will join us again soon. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.
See you in a bit.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My hand movements like this in it, yo.
Bruh.
When that VTech kicks in, yo. But no, welcome back to round 3 of coverage here from Darksphere in London. My name is John Partridge, joined by Chris Wingrave. We saw some very different decks. We have another repeat one, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's top tables.
The green variety rather than the black-white Eldrazi variety. That is right.
Yep.
We have Scapeshift versus the Storm Men.
The Storm.
Actually, the first time we've seen Storm on camera during our coverage of this Wednesday Night Modern. So I'm looking forward to this. We're going to send it down to the feature match area for round number 3 of coverage from Darksphere in London. So, Adam Ray on your right, John Soidis on the left. Players will give the thumbs up and get them going.
Yep, they are just shuffling. They are going to be sorting. And maybe there was a mulligan or something. We'll still find out very, very shortly if there's any mulligans. But they are going straight away to see what they have in their hand. Let's have a look. See. Come here, draw your 7. Or maybe it's 6. Maybe it's 5. Who knows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beautiful. So it looks like there isn't any mulligans at the moment, which is good. And it looks like then it's John to be on the play. Wonderful. So I can already see a couple of cantrips here for Adam here on his hand.
Looks
some
like
land.
John not happy with his opening hand. Looks like we have an opt, a sleight of hand, a grape shot.
Sleight of
some
hand,
lands,
opt, grape shot.
And a, well, we already have the
there's an Electromancer
in hand. So
wonderful.
At least one land, which is obviously a good place to start if you're the Storm player. You have a couple of cantrips to find that second and third land. Is going to keep John Soidis going back to the sideboard here for his...
Not his sideboard.
It's going back to... going to mulligan down to 6. Looking for a better opening hand than he followed. Hello there to the Hickinator _5. Welcome to the stream.
Enjoy. So I am now here back with John as he's just come back from a little break, and we're going to see some wonderful storm action.
I like fresh air in the rain and the cold, clearly.
Yeah, it's always raining here. No, it's not really actually.
It does
just
rain.
It does rain a fairly large amount.
So I guess the question. So obviously one of the main questions obviously here is which version of the Scapeshift deck are we on? Are we on Titan Shift or are we on the Bring to Light version of the deck? It looks like we might be on more of the Titan Shift version. The fetching of Stomping Grounds to start normally would indicate being on Titan Shift. Now, one thing that Titan Shift,
but it's also the fetch land as well,
doesn't
there you go.
See on the other side of the table is a Storm deck.
Yeah,
there are worse matchups than Storm in this format.
Yep,
but not many.
So he still needs to get some form of payoff cards,
but he's found what looks like a Spire Bluff Canal, but he has plenty of time here.
He has got plenty of time.
He also has the Goblin Electromancer in hand, so... Oh, no second land here for John.
What I did
That's
see
pretty rough.
in John's hand is a Lightning Bolt.
Yes, which is going to be very good, but I don't think you need to run it out yet. I think we're going to sleight of hand here, yes.
Makes sense.
I think John's going to sit here and go...
Sculpture hand.
Damn. This doesn't look good for me. We're going to see the... we're going to see... Spire Bluff Canal and then a pass back of the turn. On the upkeep, we're going to cast.
That makes sense.
Search for Tomorrow, funding a basic, very shiny basic mountain. That is a basic mountain that he found.
It's so shiny, in fact, I can't see it.
Yes, it's just a black border at the moment. But it looks like a couple of rituals in
coming
hand
into
here
focus again.
for Adam. We see as an old school mountain there for John.
That looks like a...
Draw for the turn. Do we find a third land? No, but we find a Farseek. So another way of getting our mana online.
Now
we do need to play. You have to Farseek here. You have no second
yes,
land.
Right.
Explore doesn't do anything. Explore's 2
but
mana,
then
draw a card.
Possibly you're dead next turn.
Yeah, possibly.
But you're not dead if you have a bolt.
Can you afford
do
to
you
hold
risk
the bolt?
it?
Can you? But you're not doing it. You don't play a second.
Do
you don't play
you
your third
play
land?
off the top of your deck? It's thinking about it. There you go.
If your
he's going to go for it. So he's going to go nuts.
If your opponent has it, sure. But if they don't, sure.
I think that was gifts off the top, so yes.
So we're going to see a mountain here for Adam. And Adam's got so much time to go off here.
Yes.
He doesn't even need to play the Electromancer at this point. He has
No.
Manamorphose.
Oh, Manamorphose as well.
It looks like Manamorphose may have been a draw. It looks like he may have
okay,
a
right,
remand
yeah,
as well. But it looks like we're going for the Electromancer here.
Electromancer.
He has remand, which
Seems
I
good.
like. I don't think you need to do anything though. Okay, looks like we're
You
going
could probably
for
cantrip once, right? And
so we're going to make blue-red, draw a card. Looks like we found a
gain a mana.
ritual by the looks of it. He's going to get out his little
Yay, well done.
lands and storm count. Foil Island, Foil Mountain, Storm
and the
counter.
Storm count. Yeah, that's good.
So currently I think we have 1, 1, and 1.
Yeah, I think so. Right?
1.
Actually, no, there's it
One
should
and one.
be 2, right? Because the Electromancer was played this turn
Yeah,
as
so
well.
sorry, 2 storms. So we're going to draw for the Mana Morphos, which looks like a Past in Flames.
That is quite tasty.
Looks like we're going to ritual, so we're going to use a red and go up
Storm
to
count
3
3.
red, 6
4.
red. Do we do the Grape Shop reminds my Grape Shops? Oh,
Past in Flames.
Make
5.
more ritual mana. So now we're going up to 5 red mana.
6 for the Storm count.
Sorry, 4 red mana. Then we're going to
7
go
for the Storm
to
count.
6 and 8. We're going to mana Morphos, which is going to give us
8
another blue
for the
mana,
mana.
which is really good because you get the blue mana as well, which means you can cast the 2 cantrips.
Yep,
Or at least one of the cantrips.
that's right.
Trigger and draw.
If he's got the win actually right now.
What with the Grape Shop, Remand Grape Shop, Grape
Yep.
Shop?
He's got it right now. He's up to 8 at the moment, and he's still got mana from the Mana Morphos.
So
He's gonna
draw for the mana Morphos. So he's got he's got
yeah,
rack of
he
mana
should.
in.
Yeah, he's gonna flick it over to blue, which is good because then he can start casting the cantrips and then just go off straight away. Well done, GG. So game number 2 should be following up very shortly because he didn't hold up bolts.
John didn't find.
Sadly.
But the thing is, he could have got all the stuff in response and probably still killed him.
Not in response. Well, I mean, you can do
Yeah,
the
so
stuff
you-
in response, but
Oh,
the
that's
mana
true.
is not generated
that's true.
until the card is resolved.
But then again, you don't know your opponent has it.
No,
You're
no,
also
that's
not-
very, very true.
Not doing anything.
No, exactly. Which is one of those things. There's not much you can do about it, but there you go.
You have to try and actually win the game still when you're playing the Time Shift deck. It's something
Yep.
that you have to do. So
So you're actually going to flash back the Past in Flames.
just to get the extra value, and then we're
Why
going to Grape
not?
Shop.
Grape Shot.
With the
Remand.
Grape Shop on the stack, we will remand the Grape Shop.
Cast it again.
And
Then we enter the scoop phase. There we go.
John wants to play game 2,
Yeah, I think so.
not game 1.
Yeah.
I hope not Zyroth, you can hear my mic now and my dulcet tones echoing across the
Yes.
Twitch airwaves to you at your home. So
Wherever
we're now
you
going to go
are,
on to the
out
sideboarding plans.
there.
Look at what we have. Some Relic of Progenituses. It looks like we have some Nature's
Relic
Claims.
seems good.
Maybe
Nature's
not.
Claim, not so much.
They don't run any enchantments anymore, do they?
No.
In fact, he's actually looks like
Or
he's possibly bringing in them.
Possibly.
I would be more interested by Engineered Explosives in case they go on the Goblin plan.
He is quite good, yeah.
Looks
So
like
Dispels
Dispel,
comes in, Echoing
Echoing Truth.
Truth.
He might, Adam might think he's against the blue version of the deck, but if I was against him, I would assume that when my
It's
opponent fetched a
possible.
Stomping Ground, he was not on the
And
blue
Mountain,
version of the
yeah.
deck. Yeah, I would assume that he is not on the blue version of the deck. We're going to see the Remand is really good against this deck.
Yep.
Actually, interesting. He's taken out some cantrips, but Remand is really good against Titan Shift.
Yeah, definitely is. We shall see what comes into game number 2 here.
Looks like some Dispels, which again,
Yeah, makes
it
sense.
depends on-
And Echoing
it
Truth.
depends if Adam knows what he's actually playing against. If he thinks he's against obviously the blue version, then this is a great sideboard plan. If he realises he's against the green version, then it's a lot less good because all you're hitting is Summoner's Pact. Really.
Yes. Yeah.
That's it. That's real only the
Yep.
instant. And maybe you want to protect your guy against a bolt, but still.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. There was a turn 3 kill, though, from Adam.
That was quite scary. I have not
On the
seen
play.
This deck doesn't really
On the
kill
play?
on turn
No,
3
on
as
the-
much
on the
anymore.
draw.
The Gifts deck much wants to go a bit longer than turn 3 because it wants to Gifts for its win condition. So actually
Yeah.
plays a much longer game than we're used to with your Storm decks because obviously you're trying to
That's
leverage
right,
the
yeah.
advantage of the Gifts ungiven. So players are going to shuffle up for
We have
game
got
number 2.
one game up here to Adam Ray. So
One game to the good against
Yeah.
John Soidis and his Titan Shift deck. Looks like
So
he's just
what
playing
would
straight
John
red-green.
bring in this matchup? Is there anything particularly that works?
Graveyard Hate.
So Relic of Genesis, I guess.
Relic, Explosives.
Yep.
That's
It's
where
pretty
I
hard,
stop.
right?
Yeah,
There's
you don't
some
have many cards.
there's probably some way that you might want to have a bit of creature effects, like just to gain life, possibly, just to be over that barrier of a set amount of life
You-
that they can't.
The thing is, your main game plan's fine.
Yeah,
You
oh
just need to
yeah,
get-
yeah, that's
you
right.
just need
Yeah,
to get there, which is
Yeah.
where Relic can bridge the gap because your opponent can't kill you past
Yeah.
in flames, and you need the Lightning Bolt still to obviously kill the Electromancer and the Baral. This matchup's
it's
rough.
kind of a bit awkward, isn't it? With
This matchup's rough purely because of this reason that you don't have anything
Yep.
particularly good against Storm.
a few bolts. That's about it, right? They can
few-
slow it down,
yeah,
and
that's-
relic, right? But then,
Yeah.
then if you're using the bolts and the relics, then you're slowing yourself down with your particular game plan, which
If you make a turn
can
one,
be a
if
bit
you, if you
bad,
make a
but-
turn 1 Relic, it's not that bad. And a
Yes.
turn 2 Accelerator,
But then you have to keep on...
Just tapping it, it's fine.
You keep on tapping it, yeah, but the activation cost is 1, so sometimes leaving it up 1 is sometimes hard.
For the first few turns, you don't need... Like,
no, of course, but this was a turn 3 kill.
Yeah, but you'd be able to go turn 1 relic, exile the first card, turn 2 make a dork, and then turn 3 you have 3 or 4 mana available, so you can make a dork and hold up 2 mana still.
Yes, possible, yeah.
He just needs to hit his land drops is the honest answer.
Yeah,
so
exactly, yeah. Looks like a decent enough hand. I see a lot of mana...
Looks like Adam's going to go back to his hand, not happy with that one.
Okay, right.
That's a very interesting way of putting his cards. I definitely
we will address that, I think. And
so players are going to... He will shuffle still, so it's not
as long as he
bad.
shuffles, it's fine. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it makes no difference. Might mention to that that afterwards that there's no need.
Let's shuffle it up. So we're going to see... Offer his deck back to John.
There we go.
The ritual of cutting your opponent's deck, and we'll see what Adam's mulligan to a 6 looks like. Obviously on the draw, being able to scry and have that card still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have a Baral. Looks like we have some lands, a ritual, another land, some more lands. Looks like we're a bit of a land-heavy hand. Looks like we've got a couple. We got a Baral and a Goblin Electromancer. Not great, but we're going to scry. We're going to see Manamorphose on top. We're going to keep that one.
That's
we're going to
very good.
Go. When you're ready, sir, you may begin. We see Valak at the Molten Pinnacle 1 and 2. We also have a Reclamation Sage and a Nature's Grasp.
Nature's Grasp.
Hand looks... If I am seeing it... Okay, so he's got a fast 6, so it's not too rough. But if this hand's got 2... It looks like he's got Secure Tribelder as well. So it looks like he's got Secure Tribelder. It's got 2 accelerators. But this hand is... that's a good draw.
Well, yeah, okay. That will slow it down by a turn, which is good. Because I don't think this hand from Adam is winning on turn 3.
No.
Unless he draws amazingly off of the Manamorphose into another Manamorphose as such, and then goes off from there, sure. But at the moment, as it currently stands, he's not winning with his hand on turn 3.
So the biggest challenge that John has is that if he's pulled in a lot of his artifact and enchantment removal, they're all dead cards, in essence. It's a 3 mana 2/1 and some Gain 4 life, which he may be able to leverage on his own cards. But
that's why I imagine
when
the
Storm kills you,
comes in.
Storm kills you.
Yeah.
It's very rare that Storm doesn't like just crush you.
Unless you get to about 30 plus life, then maybe there's some reason to believe that is okay.
Yep.
But no, you're right. It's not genuinely the plan.
So I think we're going to go for a stomping ground here. Let's get our first of the red of the mountains into play. We have a Valakut, which is not a mountain itself. It's interesting he's going for the basic mountain. Not sure. Maybe he's worried about Blood Moon. But then again, your deck gets wrecked by Blood Moon anyway.
That
might be another reason for boarding in the enchantments, because obviously Blood Moon is a card that can be used against you. We can see Grape Shot off the top. Looks like we're going to be seeing a Baral. Oh, no, we're going to see Electromancer to start with, obviously favouring the Baral as the more powerful threat, so Electromancer can be the first one to hit the bin. So obviously what we'll do is we'll pull up Baral.
Baral has now pretty much only exclusively been in the Storm decks. Have you seen it anywhere else?
It's sometimes in the standard control lists.
Has it been yes, okay.
It's seen a bit of play in sideboards.
Yeah. I saw it in Tiny Leaders as well, which is quite good.
Yes.
I quite like that.
I was going to see a Secure Tribelder. Oh, I've done that wrong.
You've done it wrong. Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, I managed to call our player the card I was looking to look. I was thinking, why is it not changing on the card reader, and realised that I typed it in the wrong place. So let's go for Baral, Chief of Compliance. Oh, that's not how you spell compliance. There we go. So we're going to see Secure Tribelder here. We're going to see the Lightning Bolt removing the Goblin Electromancer from the field. It looks like looks like we have Baral. Which
it's best to do it when they are essentially tapped out, which makes a lot of sense.
So we're going to
pass it back. Interesting, right. Oh, it looks like, is that another Electromancer?
Yeah, it looks like he's got a handful of Electromancers and not a lot else. So we're going to see both cards being sacrificed, going up to 5 mana here.
Makes sense.
At the moment, doesn't have the massive payoff card right now, but maybe draws into a Titan, but we can see a Reclamation Sage by the looks of it there. It's one of the bottom cards of his library. Looks like he has Valakut, Mountain, and
is any of the Valakut decks playing any Simian Spirit Guides these days? None at all.
It doesn't do an awful lot, because you still need the lands in play to Scapeshift.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think they've really ever played Simian Spirit Guides.
It was played, actually, this was played in a version that was about sort of in 2013, the end of 2013, so I know that's quite a while ago, with the Summoning Trap and Emrakul package.
That wasn't so much a Scapeshift deck as a nonsense green-red deck, which
it
put
was
massive monsters into play.
creatures into play.
Which
It had
was always good
Scapeshift,
fun.
it had
So
Titans as well.
what do we draw for the turn? Looks like we found a Reclamation Sage. Looks like we have a Summoner's Pact, though, which is going to do
the breach.
wonders on this turn. Looks like it's actually a fantastic one. Looks like he actually has Summoner's Pact here
wonderful.
for the Titan.
Has he got enough mana, though? He's got,
he's got
5 mana, right?
We're going to make Summoner's Pact here.
He's got 5 mana.
He has a land in hand. He's got Stomp.
Oh, has he not played the land?
No, no. He
okay,
hasn't played
right.
the land. Because it puts it in your hand, so you don't have to do it.
That's right.
So we'll see the
wonderful
quick search of the Primeval Titans. So what we will do is
Probably
we'll pull up Prime Time.
Good old Prime Time. Who likes a bit of Prime Time? Craig has one in the chat if you like the Prime Time, yeah? I certainly like Primeval
6
Titan.
mana, 4 green, trample 6/6. Whenever Primeval Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, you may search your library for up to 2 land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. When nature calls, run. Love that line. There's a few really good, like really quick ones now. It's like greatness at any cost, and when nature calls, run. And it's one of the only cards I believe with the non-italics non-italics text. So we're probably going to see him fetch a Bane. He needs to find some mountains and actually get them into play because at the moment he only has 3, and he needs 6 to do any damage.
5 other mountains, right? Oh, so he's going to get another.
So he's going to get another Valakut.
Another Valakut, which takes us. Unless he's got the.
So Adam has a lot of time.
The Prismatic Omen.
Yes, which is another.
Which if he does, then anything is good.
Most of them are running that card at the moment.
Yes. I would imagine they would be, right? Because it
looks like
means you can have an earlier
another
turn
Manamorphose there.
Okay,
that's
so I think that's time to go off.
So we're going
now.
to see Baral, Chief of Compliance.
Baral.
That's a battlefield. We're going to pull out the Storm to see what we managed to find. So
it's
we're
never good, is it, when you see that?
No,
sort of,
not really. there is a fair amount of sort of disheartening
I'm just
feelings.
Get my Storm counter out.
We get to Manamorphose first, so we get 1 blue, 1 red. Go up to 2 Storm. And draw a card. Looks like we found a Dispel. A turn late, unfortunately, but maybe it'll be okay.
Yes.
So red mana down. We're going to then make probably 2 red and a blue. So we're going to draw.
Yep.
We're going to find a Sleight of Hand, which is pretty nice.
That's something to use the mana on.
Probably is what we need to find the next kill condition. So
with the blue, so it goes down to 1. Oh, no blue now. Okay.
But he has found a land. Oh no, he's found a ritual. Interesting, he decided not to take the island.
So he hasn't actually got a payoff card though, right?
He's got the Grape Shot in hand.
Oh, he's got Grape Shot in hand. Is that enough though?
So he can, but it's interesting because he can splice onto Arcane.
Yes, yeah, but it's not going to be enough. It might be enough to kill the Primeval Titan,
which is probably fine. But then it's the rebuild phase is the problem.
And then Baral dies sadly the next turn to a mountain.
No,
not to a mountain.
There's only 4 mountains in play, so he's obviously hoping that this Primeval Titan survives.
Yeah, so the play would be then to drop one of them down.
John putting a dice on top of his deck so he doesn't forget to pay for the Summoner's Pact.
Yeah, what a shame. Well, not a shame for him. Another Storm counter. Grape Shot this. Does he have anything left over to point to the face? He doesn't. Okay. Attack in with the Baral.
He just played it this turn. You cannot do that one this turn. You're going to pass the turn back. What have you got here on the other side,
a bit
John?
Frisky there. Maybe it's another Prime Time.
So Summoner's Pact, obviously, you need to pay 4 mana. So it's search your library for a green creature card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you have to pay, and you must pay 2 green. If you don't, well, you lose the game. We have Secure Tribe Elder here on the side of John Soidis. Looks like he has another Valakut.
Is that Reclamation Sage?
Looks like he's got Rex Sage. He's got Valakut.
Another Valakut.
Yes, so at the moment he's still 1 mountain short, but this is going to do 9 points of damage every time a mountain enters the battlefield.
After this one.
Yes, so we're going to draw for the turn. Do we find... We found an Echoing Truth.
Interesting.
That card's pretty rough, but we are going to play the Electromancer. We can attack with Baral.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll induce the...
pass.
Interesting.
I guess it doesn't do any damage, right? And he's going to have to force it to do something, sure.
Back. So, draw here for John Soidis. Do you find a mountain? Looks like you found a Relic of
Where's the redraw?
Well, I think you can play that and just deal with the attacks for a few turns. You don't. You can also just make Reclamation Sage.
But then it has to kill the...
So what we have to do is we'll probably... I don't think you can crack it straight away. You can afford a few turns without doing anything.
Yeah, that's right.
We have found a Sulphur Falls.
Okay, yeah.
Why are we not attacking?
I would be attacking.
I would definitely be serving in with the team. You see another Relic of Progenitus at the draw for the turn. I think
so
we can
that would have been the draw.
Yeah.
So yeah, you crack it right, and you just go straight in.
Yeah, I think you can crack it.
I think it's about time. Go on.
But if your opponent draws Gifts Ungiven, they're probably going to do quite a lot to you anyway, and you've got a redraw. So he's going to crack the Relic of Progenitus.
You've got one in
all
hand.
graveyards.
Draw a card.
It is
Another land, which is
so that's
great.
now 9 damage.
Yes, yeah.
Because they don't enter battlefield at the same time. So we're going to tap 1 for a Relic of Progenitus. Does now
so
kill
that's
the board.
insulation now, yeah.
Yes.
So you've got a Relic of Progenitus for any future gifts ungiven.
He's going to pass the turn back.
Now, what do you normally do with people that gifts for Passing Flames and various other cards?
You don't have to crack the Relic at the moment. Oh,
no.
Yeah,
what do you do for the pile if it's like 2 Pyretic Rituals, the Noxious Revival and Passing Flames?
Well, normally they don't get Noxious Revival; they get Manamorphose.
Or Manamorphose, sure.
Well, you can't give.
What do you put in the bin?
You can't give them Noxious Revival.
Right.
Because
I normally give them. Wait, let's just say it's Passing Flames, Manamorphose, and 2 of the rituals.
What do you give them?
What do you give them normally?
I normally give them the Passing Flames Manamorphose because the rituals they might not have the mana to do anything.
Yeah. No, it's just depending on the mana.
Oh,
normally it's
well,
where
we have a good draw step here. Looks like we've lethal damage now.
Right.
I believe this one is where we enter the scoop phase of the game.
You get mountains, right? Or did you get one more Valakut?
Your opponent's dead.
Did you get one more Valakut?
You don't need to get another Valakut.
Titan
on its own deals 18 damage, and then the what he should have done is obviously cracked the Wooded Foothills in response, getting a Cinderglade into play. Then the Titan deals 9 damage with each.
Yes. Yeah. Sure.
With each trigger, and then you've got Secure Tribalder for lethal damage. He's dead this turn.
That's right.
You don't need to get fancy. You just make 2 mountains, deal 19, or he's apparently he's dead anyway.
He's thinking. Well, yeah. I mean, Adam's got no cards in hand, right?
None that are relevant anyway.
To win with, really. So
I just don't think you need to get fancy. I think.
Yep. There you go. It
does come into play tapped because it's
9 damage.
Titan.
Where is it going? We shall find out. 18 damage. Where is it going?
As a little point, those do come into play tapped because they're Primeval Titan lands.
Yep.
And we're going to see 18 points of damage. Well, at the moment it is.
And then you crack the Steve, right?
6. Yeah, so we saw 6 mountains now, so he has actually achieved it. You can crack Steve or your Wooded Foothills.
Yep.
Which one would you like to do? You're at 2. Sacrifice this land and kill you.
I think you do it now.
Yeah, let's go to game 3.
So game number 3 coming up for you very shortly. Just they're going to shuffle up and maybe re-sideboard little bits and bobs. There you go. He's just going to show him that he has a land to fetch.
Yeah, that's fine. I would like to show you that you are actually dead, and I'm not going to make the feel bads of may have not have had it. Did he have it? Did he not? You are actually dead. So players are going to have a look at their sideboard cards. I think those dispels are going to disappear from this deck.
I think it's probably just not good enough.
There's
too many sorceries, isn't there, in the Titan Shift deck? So
it's mainly a deck of sorceries. Like sure, Summoner's Pact is instant, but you do need your. Like boarding out that many cantrips scares me quite a lot.
Remand also does nothing.
Remand is really good.
Yeah, Remand is really good. Dispel is only good against one card. Remand is good against the rest. So
Remand is for those of you who are interested. Remand is really good against Titan Shift.
Yeah,
because they Summoner's Pact for Primeval Titan on 6 mana.
So
you time walk them effectively because you remand it. You draw a card.
Yeah.
They then have to tap 4 mana the following turns. They have maybe 2 available.
Do you? Well, how difficult would you say it is to play the Titan Shift deck? If you're new to Magic, would it be one that you recommend at the very start?
If you can count in 3s. I think it's a fairly easy starter deck.
You would say it was a... Yeah. I would agree. If someone's coming into Modern and they wanted something that's relatively inexpensive for the particular metagame, something really easy to get to grips with...
And really fun.
And really quite fun at the same time, sure. I would suggest to them Titan Shift.
I mean, let's be honest, one of the things we're not... Like, no deck in Modern is easy to play. They all have their intricacies.
No, that's true.
Titan Shift is probably one of the
more simpler, right? It's
because it has a linear game plan.
Yeah.
It has a very set and focused
and inevitability,
game plan.
right?
And the inevitability, yes.
So with Burn,
it's
you
good
have a bit
against
of
everything.
problems.
not the degenerate combo decks can beat you because you may not do anything, but even
Yeah, of
against
course, right.
against the control decks, you just outmana them. You mean that their counter spells are really bad against
and
you.
your lands are good against them, right?
Yes, and eventually you get to the point where you just make a land and they take 3 damage, for example, with Valakut. But Titan Shift is I think is a very good deck for someone who is wanting to learn to play the game. That is a lot of rituals and an opt.
And opt with 1 mana to cast it as well. So there's no dual colour land. I think I keep this. And you got Sleight of Hand, was it? Or is it opt?
It's an opt.
It's an opt. Okay, just an opt. He's thinking about it though, but I think it might be just enough to get there. On the other side, it looks like we have a Farseek,
Looks like we have some ramp spells and some lands.
Yeah, some ramp spells.
All you want. And I can see Adam Mulligan in this hand at the same time.
Yes,
it
that's
is
right.
a pretty rough hand if you don't draw a second land. Like, it doesn't do anything, but he's going to keep it and pass the turn back.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of draw steps to find the extra land. A
Reclamation Sage.
Rex Sage off the top here for John. He's going to crack straight away. Probably
I think
make
you go straight for
tomorrow.
Suspend
search for tomorrow. And while you're doing that, I am just going to opt because I can. So we're going to scry 1. That is a draw. That is a Spire Bluff Canal. Let me keep this one on top. We're going to draw for the turn. We find a Goblin Electromancer.
Seems good.
I think we make the Electromancer now.
So now that you've seen him fetch up a basic forest,
you make
for John, you make Electromancer, right, and hope that he hasn't got the bulk for it for next turn, and then
you do need to find some action if you are the Storm deck. Your hand is currently Rituals and, to be fair, Grape Shots, which does a lot.
Grape Shots pretty good. Yeah, but you need to be able to go up right off.
Looks like no Lightning Bolt in hand here for John,
no,
which means that this could be surviving, but we definitely have a turn 2 ramp spell. We're going to be up to 5 mana on turn 3 here for the Titan Shift deck. Oh no, we're going for the Relic of Progenitus instead.
That seems great.
To go against the
insulating you against the plan. Yes.
So we're going to draw an opt. So that's a good draw. So I think we opt. I think we attack for 2 as well.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see if he remembers that. Sees the top card. It looks. Ooh. Looks like, is that Echoing Truth? And you get a very slightest. I get the same view as you guys, I'm afraid. And
so it looks like Baral off the top.
Okay.
I think we attack for 2 here.
Hopefully. Let's see if he does.
I think you have to.
Go on. Go on. Do it. Do it. Do it. Come on. Do it. I'm right here. Oh, no. He's missed it. The 3 points of damage, which is sometimes quite relevant in this match, of just you can't storm off for 19 and
you can storm off for 17.
You can storm off for 17, yeah. Let's see if that's going to come back to bite him in the bum. Who knows? We'll see very, very shortly. Another fetch here. Oh no, this is the search for tomorrow. So he's fetched up a basic mountain.
3 mana.
Yep.
Suspend for 1.
Yeah.
Search your library for a basic land card, put it into play, and it comes into play. Doesn't come into play tapped, comes into play. It's a wonderful card, that is.
I've heard it's good.
It's pretty good, so we're going to see a draw here of the turn for John. We're going to find looks like a Sakura Tribe Elder here. So we have double Sakura Tribe Elder if we have another untapped land. It's a pretty nice turn. Looks like we have a Wooded Foothills and a Valakut the Molten Pinnacle.
It looks like Adam's not running any copies of Blood Moon in his deck.
None that we've
seen anyway, but when he had sort of a flick through his deck when he was doing a sideboarding, there wasn't really any clear copies of it in the main.
Did not look that way.
So here we see Steve, which is going to offer up a good blocker if Adam ever decides to attack.
We're going for the Cinderglade.
Cinderglade's
like
fine.
Maybe another.
Yes.
It does look like we have no payoff card at the moment.
Not right now, no.
Looks like Sakura Tribe Elder land.
Yeah. So another. Would you play the other Sakura Tribe Elder?
Yes.
I think it's worth it, right?
Like you can bluff the removal spell.
Bluff the removal spell, sure.
That is another ritual.
Because he doesn't know the contents of Adam's hand, and it also keeps up. The relic as well, which could be vitally important.
Definitely. So pass back the turn here.
Pass it back. I don't
activate
believe
relic.
That's you may as well.
Yeah.
Right, and also sacrifice. There, sure. Yeah.
So now it's 5 mana. So we do have 6 mana available this turn if we have an untapped land. I believe there's Wooded Foothills. We do need to find a threat though, which is obviously the important
thing. For both
thing.
of them, really, almost in a way. Like you need to have a payoff card with Adam because he's got multiple copies of Grape Shot, but he hasn't really got any. He's got his engine going, but he hasn't got any particular draw spells.
He hasn't got a Gifts Ungiven.
And
to lock up the game.
He hasn't got a gift. He hasn't got any cantrips to start sort of slowly going off. So it's a little bit risky here for both of them.
Here looks like another land here for. Oh, no, sorry, I lie. We have a Primeval Titan in play because they always have it.
Oh, hello there. So, do you wipe the board here? I think I would. My opponent's been.
No Valakuts in play.
No, not right now. But would you wipe the board after, or would you just go straight to the face?
Adam has to go off next turn.
Yes. Yeah.
Otherwise, he's probably dead. And
Is he
again,
thinking
like I
about
say,
anything in particular that could come?
yes, Storm has a very good matchup against Titan Shift, but again, it's modern. You can lose.
Yeah, right.
This is the wonderful thing about modern. You can always lose.
You dud, or you
games.
don't draw your combo, or you don't draw the cards that are fantastic, and yes, you will lose. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is one of those things that you can get to the point where it's actually, oh, I just lost because I had a bad hand that didn't do anything.
Yes.
So this is maybe where Adam should have mulligan, but again, 2 points of damage lost because he didn't attack. And at the moment, John is trying to debate how he plays this turn because he's worried about if he makes Primeval Titan, he could just die.
Yep.
Because he has to tap out of Relic mana.
Like, he doesn't know what's in Adam's hand, so
he's going
Adam
for
could
it.
just be sculpting. He might just be playing something else. Who knows? We'll see. It can come down to it. It's going to get another Cinderglade. Wonderful.
So this does mean that the Titan will deal 3 damage to something.
Yes. If he wanted to.
Which I think he does.
I think he does, you're right.
He's going to make Titan.
Okay,
Does mean he taps
so he's just
out.
going to go for it. Right.
We know Adam's hand is pretty rough.
So's, well, I mean, John's was until he drew the
He's going to kill
Primeval
Baral,
Titan.
Chief
There
of
you go.
Compliance.
Yeah, so Baral hits the bin right now. And he has the Relic as well, which he did miss from last turn. So Baral could have gone missing, but...
So Past in Flames or Bust here by the looks of it for
Is
Adam.
Past in Flames even enough right now on
Yeah,
this board?
well, it allows him to recast all his rituals. Oh, it's an Electromancer off the top. Because you can just recast all your rituals.
Yes. No, of course.
Like, it's probably
and you
not
can kind of maybe get up and kill the Titan again, right? Sure.
He's actually working out if he can kill him this turn. That's quite scary.
It's not possible, right? No. So he is just dead.
Yeah.
Right? You get a Valakut. You get 2 Valakut.
Or you can just anger the gods as well and deal 6 damage.
Yeah. You might even want to just bin your Relic now as well.
You're putting him to 2 life.
So with the 2, you got a land drop as well, right?
Yeah, so your opponent should be
dead.
So
then you swing for 2, play your land drop, you get 2 Valakuts. And
yeah,
oh, there you go, yeah. Well, there you go.
the hand there from Adam Ray. John Soidis taking down the horrible matchup for Storm. Against Storm, 2 games, 2-1. Titan Shift able to work its way out from a pretty bad situation. Adam maybe not keeping the best of hands and unfortunately missing a few points of damage as he comes along. He did draw many of his creatures, but we're going to bring him back to the booth here.
Yeah.
John Partridge, Chris Wingrave here, bringing you live coverage of Wednesday Night Modern from Darksphere in London. About 15 minutes left on the round. That was not what I expected to see, I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect the Storm deck to win that one quite comfortably 2-0, but I am wrong,
so they're
as is very easily proven.
They're 2 tier 1 decks.
Yes,
or at least they were at some stage.
No, they are. I
believe they still are right now. So
let's be honest. Tier 1 in Modern
broad.
Is quite a broad spectrum. Tier 2 in Modern is also very broad, and actually the difference between Tier 1 and Tier 2 is probably more based on the number of people
playing.
who play the deck.
Yeah, of course. It doesn't mean like
actually how good the deck is. Like we would probably,
but that's every tier list,
put Death and Taxes as a Tier 2 deck because no one plays it.
Yeah.
Is it a good deck? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Does it want to play against Titan Shift all day?
Yeah.
Yes. Because I don't think you lose many times to Titan Shift.
I'm just going to disappear for 1 moment.
Where are you going? Where are you running off to?
Somebody borrowed 2 of my Bloodstained Mars, but I thought he was leaving. Thankfully not.
Didn't just decide to run out the room.
Yeah, I will be checking.
But what we're going to do? So
it'd be quite
in that case, you need to go and find it. We're going to take a break then.
We'll take a very quick break and we'll come back.
We'll be back with probably back with round number 4 because it looks
I'll
like
be back with my Bloodstained Mars hopefully.
We hope you will join us for round number 4 very shortly. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you again shortly. Welcome back,
There
ladies
we
and
go.
gentlemen. Once again, round number 4 of coverage here from Darksphere in London on our Wednesday Night Modern. John Partridge,
The Wednesday
Chris
Night Modern. Everyone
Wingrave
loves it.
to take you through the final round of coverage. We have 2 brand new decks on camera, 2
Yes,
players who have not been on camera, and 2 very unique archetypes in Grixis Death Shadow versus Blue-Red Kiki Moon. We're going to send it down to the feature match area, give the players the go-ahead, and on to round number 4 of coverage from Darksphere in London. We're going to have to go do it ourselves this time.
Shuffle on. They are absolutely going to start very shortly. Interesting 2 deck types here. So the Kiki Moon actually has a really good game 1 plan against the Grixis Death Shadow, of Blood Moon just being fantastic in that matchup. Will Miguel know exactly to fetch up those basics? Will he fetch up those basics? We don't know. And then it is backed up by the combo. However, Grixis Death Shadow is very, very well sought out to deal with combos.
So what is the
and
combo?
It looks like it is Kiki, the Mirror Breaker.
Yep.
Mirror
So
Breaker
let's,
because he is fantastic.
He breaks mirrors.
He breaks mirrors, or maybe he's just that ugly that it breaks mirrors.
Yeah.
Who knows? But Kiki is one of those fun cards that have been waiting to get broken for such a long time.
Kiki Mirror Breaker. 2
Yes.
red. Mythic rare, legendary creature, Goblin Shaman, 2/2 with haste. Tap, create a token that's a copy of target non-legendary creature you control. That token has haste, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, as we see a Street Wraith being cycled here from Miguel.
Wonderful start.
Down to 18.
Let's see if they remember
GK
to count the life totals. We might need to...
Yeah, we do need to go and remind them of that one.
There's another Street Wraith as well, so another redraw here for Miguel Murillo, or Morillo. We don't know exactly where he's from, but I imagine that is a Spanish last name, so Morillo. He plays a Bloodstained Maya, but doesn't crack it at the moment. We shall have a workout and see what is going on here. So, just an island here for GK Neil. They have just adjusted the life total, so he is on 16, waiting to crack it down to probably inevitably 13. And why is 13 a particularly good life total to be at for a Death Shadow deck?
Because it kills Death Shadow.
It does, that's right.
Death Shadow is a 0/0.
It is a 0/0. He is allowed to cast a Death Shadow.
Legally, yes.
Probably not wanting to do that as we speak right now. Is he going to crack the fetch? We don't know.
No, but
That's
he doesn't
just
have
a
to
great
right now.
thing. No, he doesn't have to. That's
It depends
right.
what his hand is. He doesn't have to do it. He may.
He's leaving it up just in case of those turn 2 Blood Moons from Storm. Occasionally that happen, which does happen from time to time.
He also has quite a few lands in hand, so he's not really priced into.
Yeah, he's going to play a longer game. He might think his opponent's on Storm. This looks like a particularly. There you go. Fair.
Yeah.
Let's just go nuts. Let's just do it now. Let's start the game on 10.
He could Thought Scour and make a fish.
A real big fish.
Very big fish.
Yeah.
See a Watery Grave and probably a Blood Crypt.
Is it the correct art of Watery Grave?
Oh,
I
yeah,
believe
it's
it
the old
is,
one.
isn't it?
It's the
I
old
love that art more than the new one.
Oh, the old art Steam Vents as well. Even better.
Shah Wing.
Swish. I believe the word swish on those ones.
Swish
So
around the corner.
Miguel down to 10 already. two from
Turn
cycling.
2, right?
2 from cycling each Street Wraith. We're going to see a Death Shadow
A 3/3.
into the battlefield as a 3/3, which does mean
yes. He might have his opponent on Storm, because
that
otherwise...
possibly, yes. Well, we'll soon find out if his opponent has
Yeah.
anything. But he could remand this. I'd be very interested in remanding this spell.
Since there is only 1 black mana, yes.
Yeah, like you're also
Yeah.
at 20 life. You
Yep.
can afford to do this. Like if your opponent has a Stumble Denial, then they get you. But you also they also tap out and you can bolt it.
Yep.
Which is another thing as well. Like your opponent, it's only a 3/3 Death Shadow, which means you have the time.
He's fetching for a tapped Steam Vents as we speak right now. It could change, but I imagine it's wanting to get remanded. I would think so. I would like to remand this spell if I had remand in hand. Maybe he doesn't have remand in hand.
Does have remand in hand.
Ah, okay, so he did
to opt
instead. Okay, well, there we go. So no immediate answer here for the Grixis Death Shadow player.
No, and no bolt either.
No.
I would have only done that play if I had bolt in hand.
Yes.
You do draw for opt as well,
Oh,
right?
whether better to be lucky than good. So, do you bolt it here or do you fear the Street Wraith?
I think you fear the Street Wraith.
Do you fear the Reaper?
You always fear the Street Wraith.
Shock.
So now we're down to 17.
Not doing as much damage to himself as before. There we go. Bolt the Death Shadow. Does it work? Yeah.
So Lightning Bolt. I think this one is going to work, which does mean that the Grixis, the Death Shadow will be going away, and we're going to pass the turn back. Obviously, Remand very good against the Delve creatures as well.
Yeah, it tends to work quite well against them.
And he actually did have Stun Denial in hand, so
he did, yes. So
clearly, GK seeing exactly what his opponent was up to.
Yeah, I think he has another Death Shadow in his hand, though. To be fair, so
which
the first one goes. However, where there is one.
It's not a Siege Rhino, so it doesn't mean they're going to follow each
no,
other.
Unfortunately not. No, it's only Siege Rhino.
Only Siege Rhinos go in packs. Or clashes. There's a clash of rhino. Is a crash of rhinos, sorry.
A crash.
They're like London buses.
Yes.
You wait for one to come along for a while, and then they all turn up and they all turn up at the same time.
Have every one of your fingers in each a different bus.
You are probably priced into remanding this one.
It seems pretty weak to remand here, but I think you have to go a card deeper into your deck.
Yep.
You might fetch, maybe, and then Stubborn Denial, but is it really that important?
I think what we might see here is one of the issues with playing blue-red.
Yes.
Against Grixis Death Shadow.
Yep.
Is you can't kill the Death Shadow when it gets above a certain size.
Once it's landed, yes. And I guess this he had the remand in hand right at the beginning, so.
But again, it would have been Stubborn Denial at any point in the game, so we're going to see a basically 1 mana counter spell.
Yep.
Against the instants and the non-creature spells of his opponent.
And he is leaving up
into play
1 mana as well to bluff another counter spell, which I do think he has in hand.
He does.
So
even an island here.
Yeah.
Which does mean the Blood Moon wouldn't be an out now.
It certainly does mean the Blood Moon won't be an out. We'll see exactly what's being played here.
GK's still at 17. He's still surviving quite well at the moment, so we're going to see if
it's going to take a few hits here from the Death
Shadow.
And
a draw, and we're going to see a swamp for the draw for the turn. He has Blood Crypt, Swamp, Island,
Stubborn Denial, and I think in the back there.
Looks like he's a little land flooded, but that doesn't matter so much when you're playing against a blue-red opponent. So we're going to see a swing in here for a large hit of 6.
It is a large hit. It does reasonably well against GK. So it's a 3-turn clock as we speak.
So down to 11. I think you probably
do you shoot off? I shoot off the. Okay.
Maybe he's going to shoot off the opt.
So he's going to do this.
Snapcaster Resolve.
Yeah. Opt, probably not. We might just do Bolt.
Yeah. But again,
and hopefully not get a.
Get it snagged by.
He is going to target the Bolt because he has him dead. If he draws another Bolt and has.
He has the Electrolyze in hand.
Electrolyze in hand as well, but yeah. It's going to block. Does he have the risk of Team of Battle Rage, though? That's depending what GK is thinking about.
I think you're dead to Team of Battle Rage anyway.
You probably are, aren't you? Oh, this is the end of turn as well. It's not even blocking with the... okay, so...
So we're going to attempt to bolt you, and we're going to get the Stubborn Denial out of the hand this turn. However, we still only need 3 points of burn. Lightning bolts?
No, because he's at 7, right?
6 points of damage. We're going to draw what looks like a land for the turn. I think I think you can attack here.
Yes.
Like, it's very unlikely that Miguel can kill you, but we're going to Electrolyze first.
I think that's sensible. You're dead to a Team of Battle Rage resolving anyway.
Yep.
So I would shoot it off.
Yep.
Okay.
You do it in the end. You don't do it now. You let him have his turn.
Yeah, you can have his turn, I guess, but then he draws into another Stubborn Denial, maybe. But then, either way, it's not looking good. So he's at 5.
Fatal Push off of the
Miguel is at 5. Oh, Fatal Push. Well, that stops the blocker, which is sensible. So that was a good read by Neil.
GK obviously playing this one out quite well, so let's see what he does. So here, at the moment, the Death Shadow is not lethal.
No, it's not. No, and in all reasonableness, he's going to take the full amount of 8, go down to 3, and hope the Death Shadow player doesn't play a Bolt, which they don't normally.
They started running a 1.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2.
We're going to see Electrolyze here in the end step.
This is sensible. So Bolt is an out. Maybe he resolves this. He goes to 3.
Down to 3. So draw for the
another Electrolyze or another Bolt.
Or a Snapcaster Mage, which he looks like he.
No, he's got a land, hasn't he? In his hand.
But his opponent's at 4.
No, his opponent's at 3.
His opponent's at 3, which means that this.
So a swing and another Snap Electrolyze wins. It's a he's got a land. Yeah, he's got it. There you go.
He has Fatal Push. Miguel has Fatal Push. You attack still.
He does. But the Electrolyze can draw into something, hopefully.
You attack anyway. You see what your opponent has. We'll get this
no, that's sensible. Yep.
Sure. Okay, cool. Deal.
Yep.
I now have to do the land Snapcaster plan next turn.
Yep.
So that's fine. And your go, sir.
hopefully.
Well, you got to play the
Well,
land first.
Yeah, you have to play a land. You
There's
have
no point,
to.
There's no point Blood Mooning. Your opponent has both basics in play.
Yeah.
You're on the Snapcaster plan.
And Miguel has to not draw some form of removal spell, yeah. Which it is a...
Opt. So it's a redraw.
Is it Opt? Okay.
Yeah, looks like we got a redraw.
Yeah.
So we're going to cycle... we're going to cast Opt here, which is fine.
That's fine. I would do it now because you want to see something suitable.
He needs to fund a removal spell.
Yeah.
There's no Path to Exiles
there
or
is
that can happen.
No Path to Exiles. Certainly not.
So we're going to draw...
He draws it, and it's a...
Oh, it's an Inquisition. Kozilek.
But that gets around.
He has to Snapcaster now.
He has to Snapcaster now, and he doesn't have to pay for the Electrolyze as we speak.
No, he doesn't know, so he can just say, I'd like to cast a Snapcaster Mage.
Yes.
I'm going to target Electrolyze.
Yep.
And I'm going to let that spell resolve and show you this Blood Moon. That's fine.
Blood Moon.
No problems. Blood Moon goes away. We now have a blocker.
You can fetch up one of your basic islands as well, which I'm assuming he plays more than 2.
Yeah, I imagine in a Blood Moon deck he'll play more than 2. We're going to see an attack here and a chomp block.
Yeah, it's blocking.
Yep, that's gone. Let's see the land passed. Let's see the
crack that
land down to 2. And we're going to Electrolyze.
Well, let's see. Wait a minute. Get your land first.
Yep.
Don't draw off the top of your deck.
No, we don't draw first. We definitely crack the fetch land. Just fetch an island. Those lovely unstable islands. Unstable versus
unhinged.
Yeah.
Unhinged all the way. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's playing the wrong islands. That's my opinion right now.
They are neither, nor are they whiteboarded.
No. They are not Guru Islands. Funnily enough, not Guru Islands. So he draws. He doesn't even show us the draw. How rude.
He untapped very quickly though.
He did.
Serum Visions. We have a redraw.
There's a redraw. So any bolt effect wins. Snap. Snapcaster Mage.
There's another Serum Visions, which means he can set up the opts, and they're going to go both to the bottom.
Both.
Don't want
you just want that.
And
Serum Visions again.
I mean, I wouldn't have mind keeping the opts. You dig deeper.
No.
Oh, it's Pestamite. Hello.
Now that is a
good.
win. Unless there's a kill spell from Miguel. Well, it still taps down the Death Shadow.
You can also play this...
Interesting.
You can play the Sulphur Falls without any issue.
You jam the Sulphur Falls, right? Unless... Plays around Colligan's Command, though.
Yes,
so if he jams Colligan's Command here, which he didn't, unfortunately, but... there we go.
Well, no,
yeah.
Before you go to combat, I'd like to play this Pestamite.
So Kiki off the top actually wins as well.
Death Shadow. Oh wow! It's actually this Pestamite will be lethal because
Pestamite is lethal. Yeah.
No removal spell in return, and we're going to play another Death Shadow here. And
does he have a removal spell for it?
No, he doesn't. He has a Death Shadow. And Leave GK actually finds Kiki off the top.
Is it?
Yeah, he finds Kiki. You just attack.
Yeah, you just
attack.
Or do you combo?
Has it. No, you don't have to. Just see if your opponent has nothing, and GK manages to steal a game of steals the game from Grixis Death Shadow.
Kiki Jiki, what art?
They're all the same, aren't they?
No.
Oh no, not the promo one.
This is the promo one, right? This is the new art one. Do you go new art or original Kamigawa art? Let's see your opinions in the chat, guys. Your opinions in the chat. What art of Kiki Jiki? Kamigawa. It's Kamigawa all the way. It's pointing and he's angry. This one just looks like he's a ball.
Knuckle dusters. Explosive ball with knuckle dusters.
It looks like some unfortunate curry incident, really.
That will definitely break mirrors, though.
Yeah, that face definitely breaks mirrors. Yeah. Actually, the other one's quite cute, so maybe it's not true to his name.
Yeah, that face definitely breaks mirror breakers. The other one, not so much. But anyway, player's going to go to the sideboard. Looks like a null spell.
Let's see your opinions in the chat. I want to see your opinions in the chat. Let's go. Best Kiki Jiki mirror breaker art. Let's have your opinions. Let's see there. Come on into the chat if you want to have a look at it.
Looks like we're getting rid of the some number of the multicolour spells. Looks like that may have been a Terminate going away. Looks like one of the Street Wraiths disappeared. Looks like we're bringing in things like
Terminate's an interesting one to get rid of it.
I don't think it's very good compared to like Colligan's Command.
So reasons? What it kills.
It kills everything, correct? But
it kills everything.
Also 2 mana, doesn't deal any incremental advantage. Fatal Push also costs 1 mana.
Fatal Push does cost 1 mana. However, when it comes to the game of trying to kill either the Pestamite or the Deceiver Exarch, has to be revolted.
Yeah, that's fine. But you're playing in Modern.
Of course, right. But the abundance of like fetch lands, they are only paying 18 lands, and trying to trigger a revolt.
That's fine. Like now you know what you're against, you can afford to do it slightly differently.
Sure.
We also see
no, it makes sense.
We also see
I personally wouldn't board out
Terminate.
You've got other spells in there which are you could trim your cantrips to some extent, like one of each maybe.
You can definitely get rid of some number of Street Wraiths. That card I don't
Street Wraith
think
as
is
well, because you're
linked for
facing
this
against
matchup.
burn deck. So
Yep.
yeah, those you could probably take even all of those out, keeping your cantrips in.
Looks like he's taking a second one out.
Yeah.
Still 2
You
in the
trim.
deck.
Yeah, you would definitely trim or take them all out. Maybe trim something like a Serum Visions if he's playing it. I don't think he is. I think he's on the Thought Scour Opt plan.
Yep.
Bazooka, yeah. So Bazooka thinks that he prefers the Kamigawa one,
Yeah,
which I think is.
Yeah. Iconic Master's not so iconic.
No, not
But of course,
really.
I mean, that Kiki Jiki's been in multiple sets now.
He has, and that art as well, which I just think is disgusting. And
I think some people do like the card. Like, I think but the thing is, as we've seen a lot more recently with cards, the reprints have never been as good as the original. Edgar
Okay, so
Castanage, definitely not as good
Yeah.
as Tiago Chan.
okay, there is one reprint that was in the recent From the Vault set, which looks fantastic. I don't know if it's going to come up. If I put it in,
is it the 4 mana 2 green red? Is it that one?
it's the
Yes, 100% agree. This one.
right. This art, if it comes up with the correct art, I'm going to put it into the system now. It might not come up with the because they always do the last printing, but whether it does it for the From the Vault set,
Oh,
yes.
it does.
Oh, Craig Rasm's in the
Craig
chat
Rasm
right
in the
now.
chat.
Let's
That
see.
is
Isn't that
a
just so much better?
beautiful,
Yeah. Have you seen the flip
beautiful
side as
card.
well?
Oh yeah, like that card is
Ha ha.
Let's do
Ravager
it.
of the Fell. Would it come up? Ooh, would
Yeah.
it? Oh.
Ravager or Ravager.
Ravager. That's that. Yeah, it's that. Ravager of the Fells.
This is
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it look gorgeous? Both sides.
I
is
think
just
I think
so
the
much
light
better.
side. I think the light side's better.
I prefer the light side
than
than the
night
dark.
side.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
The night side, not.
Yeah.
It's still very nice, and it's actually
come to
like
the
it's
dark
interesting
side.
how they changed it so much from the original artwork.
Right.
It is
Yeah.
fantastic artwork. This is really the stage where Wizards have gone above and beyond themselves.
I
none of the
really
other,
like it.
None of the others ones got a reprint, but this looks so nice. It's insectile.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah. So the insectile aberration,
that's fine.
I think, is probably the insectile aberration is better in the new transform set than.
Let's see how
Is
we
it double
spell
B probably, right?
No.
Is it aberration double B? No, it's not. Right?
No,
Clearly not.
whoa,
No.
whoa, whoa.
Wait a
But
minute.
let's just put up Delver of Secrets first.
Okay. Yeah, that's simple.
While you're doing that, I'll look at the night side.
Delver of Secrets. Yeah. Yes. I don't particularly like this particular art of Delver of Secrets.
It's a bit strange.
It's a bit odd, but in foil, I mean, it doesn't show you in foil here, but it's a bit odd. But yeah, okay, sure, it's another foil Delver because those cards have gone up in price.
Aberration.
Double R, right?
Yeah, so it's insectile as you were spelling it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, insectile is easy. Insect.
Well, so he says. Aberration. A-B-E, aberration.
Aberration, yeah, okay.
E-R, aberration, yep.
Aberration.
So we're going to see a turn 1 Serum Visions here from GK, and it looks like
Yeah.
Mikkel is going to snap counter that one by the way. Yeah, that is quite nice.
It's just a bit more freaky, right? And
It's very freaky.
I mean, even the other one, the old one was sort of a bit strange, but
it was just like, unfortunate, all my test animals have died or
Yes.
escaped, so I shall be the final subject. I feel no fear. This is a momentous night as he turns into a monster.
yeah.
So we're going to see a Stubborn Denial taking care of the Serum Visions here.
Ooh,
deciding that
okay,
he doesn't want-
interesting.
I don't mind that. I think if
I
you're going for somebody
always
to play
like
turn
that
2,
as well. Yeah.
We're
Did he
gonna
mulligan as well?
yes, his
okay, he
opponent
did.
did
So
mulligan, so
this is the vital thing about doing it now, because it sets up your
looks like we have a Blood Moon in hand, a second land here. Looks like we're going to have our land drops being
Okay,
hit,
well,
which
he
is the
still
main thing.
hits it.
Going to
There we
see
go.
opt in the end step. Opt in the end step.
Opt,
That's fine.
opt.
Let that resolve. We have a Snapcaster Mage in hand for Miguel, which looks like he's looking to set up a third land drop here.
Yes, that's
We're
right.
gonna
So
cycle the Street Wraith.
yeah.
Opt, scry, draw Street Wraith, lose 2 life to cycle. Let's have a redraw.
Miguel's down to 12.
Let's have a redraw. So we're going to Thought Scour. So we might be setting
the
up
glare
for
on
a
the
big
camera's pretty
fish,
bad actually. Oh, there we go. It's back into yeah, because it was on the very edge of the screen, so the focus is more around the middle. So the opt, and a Fatal Push was milled over, and the draw for the turn was
It's like a Colligan's Command.
yes. Now,
Very nice draw there.
very nice draw. The instant 2 for 1. Always very good to see. It looks like our Abzan Collected Company combo deck is not doing too well tonight.
No,
unfortunately.
Has not been the night. For
and
the
there was
companies.
Amulet Titan.
Yes, someone was playing. No,
so
is it? Yeah, Amulet Titan.
Amulet Titan.
Yep.
And he isn't doing particularly well with it at this stage,
No,
but
it
still,
is
it's such a fun
Felix
deck,
does
isn't it?
play some sweet decks.
Yeah, he's
when
got
it
like.
comes down.
I would love to go back to see his card collection because the extent of it is
mind-boggling amount of cards.
I'm sure it's a separate room.
Probably, yes. We're going to see an untap here. No play from Miguel, obviously hoping to do the Snapcast drop. We see a Cryptic Command, the draw for the turn. I don't think you can do that.
I'm not
That's
sure.
really
Right?
brave.
Yeah.
I think you have to. Oh, you have to snap counter that. You have no basics in
Yeah.
hand.
Does he have Snapcast Mage
Yes,
in hand?
he does. And
Are
a
you sure?
stubborn. Yes, he has. And a stubborn Denial in the.
Oh, if you got something now, you just shoot it. Oh, okay, not in hand, but it's in the graveyard. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Here
He's
we
going
go.
to see him.
We're please
opt.
don't
It's
opt,
opt.
please.
No.
He has
right?
Stubborn Denial in the graveyard and Snapcaster Mage in hand.
Okay. Let's see. And I guess he's got the shuffle as well, right?
He has it in hand.
Maybe it's not a Snapcaster Mage then? Maybe it's something else?
I'm 100%
Oh well.
sure he has a Snapcaster
Then
Mage.
you fetch for your basic island, right? Surely, at this stage. I know you've got no black, and that's... Thought Scour in response, so he's really digging deep. There's a summon now. And
Sure, there's a Snapcaster Mage in that hand.
fetch your basic. Maybe it wasn't. That would have been the most sensible play. There we go. Anyway, like
So there's a Stubborn Denial in the graveyard.
there is definitely a stubborn. There's two stubborn denials now because he milled over one with the Thought Scour. Gets your basic islands. Admittedly, his hand is full of blue spells. So
Yeah, this still feels pretty rough to
yeah,
be doing.
yeah. No, I definitely understand that there.
Untap with our 2 mountains and our island.
Okay, so it resolves.
Gonna
Draw for the turn. He can still draw the basic.
He can.
The
Looks like we may have
basic.
drawn a fish or a Tassiger.
Okay, which is uncastable. No
Yeah, it's
black
just
mana.
there. That's a Snapcaster Mage.
It's just there.
It's just there.
So John is frantically pointing at the screen right now, going, "It's there." Obviously,
a fantastic.
you
draw
guys
there.
at home can't see, but he is slamming his fingers on the screen as we speak, going, "It's there, it's there."
We see we have Dispel, Electrolyze. We also have
yes,
a Cryptic Command and Kiki Mirror Breaker.
So you just need to draw one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. Or pieces.
Or
of
pieces
the
of the puzzle. That'd be good as well. Yeah.
That's a good card.
Wonderful.
So we can see Electrolyze here in the end. Step target Miguel.
So Mardu Pyromancer has gone 4-0 this evening.
That's terrifying. Beating Titan Shift.
And it was the player that hasn't played since Twin got banned.
Yeah. Playing against Titan Shift.
Playing against the Titan Shift deck. Yeah, so
the Titan Shift deck. We're going to see
yeah, main deck Blood Moon tends to do quite well against that.
Nice.
Oh, and
We'll see another mountain off the top here
okay.
in the form of a Flooded Strand Mountain.
Yeah, as it's always known
A
as,
flooded,
right?
flooded mountain.
Flooded Mountain.
We have the Steam Mountain, the Flooded
That
Mountain.
could be another great name for.
We have a Scalding
Snapcaster
Mountain.
Mage for red mana.
I told you he had it in hand.
Yeah, interesting. So I want maybe he just didn't see the line. Well, clearly didn't see the line because otherwise he would have done that, right? So
We have a Watery Mountain.
watery mountain. Blue Moon is quite a watery mountain.
We have
isn't
a
it, in
flooded
general, so-
island. And we have a
Flooded
flooded
island
mountain.
and
A
watery
flooded
mountain.
mountain. We draw the turn here finds a polluted mountain.
Interesting.
We're going to attack here for 2. We're going to see the Abrade deal with the Snapcaster Mage.
Yes, I think it's pretty much
You can't
game
sacrifice
over here.
that.
No, you can't.
That is a mountain.
No,
That is still
can't
a
do that right
mountain.
now. Yep. It looks like it's all going to be wrapped up here now
Looks
for
like
GK,
we have a
and he's going to
Sulphur
go.
Mountain.
Yes.
Pass turn back, which does give us access to Kiki Mirror Breaker. Looks like we drew a Nile Spellbomb.
Ooh, okay, so that's a redraw.
No.
Oh no, it's not a
it
redraw.
doesn't, 'cause there's no swamp.
There's no swamp. My bad. Oh no.
It's interesting how Miguel played this because obviously he's playing
Or
against
maybe
he knew the Blood Moons were in his deck.
Yes, right.
And
And that's
Blood Moon is
it's
very
a thing.
good. And Blood Moon is very good against Grixis Death Shadow.
It's very, very good against Grixis
So
Shadow.
you
That
should
doesn't fetch
always
his
fetch
basic.
for your basics. You
Yeah.
should fetch for your basics.
He
You
had
should
a
always-
chance for it.
You should get both your basics into play. I'm going to draw here.
The basic island isn't as important as the basic swamp is.
Another
so
Flooded Mountain. I think you have to get both of them though.
Yeah.
Early on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Your life
attempt to.
total is not really important because
pretty irrelevant.
their plan is to kill you through Bolt Snap Bolt normally.
Or
So
combo kill you.
or combo kill you. Yeah.
But
so
Blood Moon is a good way of shutting down what your opponent's trying to do.
yeah, certainly
See a
is.
pass back of the turn here from Miguel to GK. He's going to draw for the turn.
I see Dispel in hand there
Finds
for
an
GK
Opt.
and
It's
an Opt.
pretty good.
Electrolyzers in hand as well.
No, it's Kiki Jiki.
Oh, is it? No,
Command,
I saw a
Dispel and
multicolored
Opt.
spell.
It's Kiki
Is it?
Jiki. We're going to see an Opt in the end step here.
Okay. Ha ha ha.
Draw for the turn, obviously.
Interesting.
Opt.
Okay.
A new card.
It is
from the new
fairly new,
set.
isn't it? Yes, it's
A very innocuous common. A blue mana, scry 1, draw a card. But has made a huge impact on Modern where it has been available. We're going to see another island enter the battlefield here.
that's right. Yeah.
And a pass back to the turn. Going to
Is
see
it
a
the basic?
Bloodstained Mountain.
It's Bloodstained Mountain.
Pass back of the turn. Again, draw for the turn here. We have a...
Look at those
well,
fetch lands.
we have now attained the combo.
There we go.
Pass back of the
So
So we make the end steps, then we have available the Cryptic Command.
yes, and you would tap the island.
Yes, well you have to. You have a lot of
Let's
mountains.
see exactly what he does
So
with
we
his mana
tap
though.
probably, you just tap the island, force him to use it.
I think so. Yep. You've got to. Yeah. Tap the island.
It's
Done.
taps. And we get to
Untap.
untap and draw.
Play your Kiki.
Play a mountain.
There is a
Play a mountain first. You play a mountain first.
Yeah, you've got plenty of mountains, but yes. Thought Scour. Oh,
So he floated a mana in
Oh, he
response.
floated a mana.
So why do you play the mountain first?
Because then you have enough mana for Cryptic Command. You play a land first, regardless. You have enough mana then for Cryptic Command.
Because
that's in your hand.
lightning bolt. Kills.
Yeah, there we go. That's a concession then from Miguel. Unfortunate that he did not do his Snapcaster Mages into Stubborn and Isle. There we go.
Oh.
But then that's it. That is the end of our Modern for this evening. We take it back to the booth. Welcome back. This is John Partridge and Chris Wingrave. As you can see underneath our wonderful faces, there is our wonderful names. Interesting. So
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised in that game because
yes,
either Miguel forgot he had a
It's possible.
counter spell in his graveyard, or he just
Yeah.
didn't see a Snapcaster Mage in hand. It seems a little rough. It seems like a little bit of
yes,
a-
that's
it's-
right.
it's-
Yeah,
it is a little bit of a rough way to finish that game. Obviously,
unfortunate. Yeah, Blood Moon.
Blood Moon did shut down that game completely, which allowed then allowed GK to have as many turns as he wanted to win the game, and that was the
That's
thing.
right.
If the Blood Moon hadn't resolved, I think Grixis Death Shadow crushes that game something easy because he had so many
Yep.
cards in hand compared to his opponent,
Yeah,
and his opponent not doing an awful lot, able to cast his Tassiger's large monster fish, large zombie fish,
yeah,
and also
yeah.
the
Right.
discard
So
spells as well.
when you're on the Death Shadow plan, the game becomes dangerous. I think against the blue-red decks in general.
Yep.
Because they have so much good usable burn to burn you out,
Yep.
and to get bigger than like their staff to kill quickly, to give you a faster clock than their burn, you have to go low in the life total.
Yes.
So you have this real big sort of balancing step.
Definite dilemma.
Yeah, and also like you got this stages of like Cryptic Commands are actually really good of just like bouncing the Death Shadows or tapping them down or
Time-
whatever you want to do,
Or the fish.
and all the fish. Yeah,
Time walking your opponent.
fish is a lot better as a threat because you don't have to go low to play.
But you do have to expend your graveyard
But you do have
resources,
to, yeah,
which
yeah,
is where
so-
cryptic bouncing comes in really useful.
Yeah, exactly. Bouncing the fish is great. So tap the team, bounce the fish has been, really good. I mean, they can fill up their graveyard again, but it's just buying you time, which is what you want, and then they have to sort of go down lower in life. And yeah, so it's a good plan. Now, we've seen there's a few people playing on the top end tables. It looked like the Bedlam Reveler style deck had done, the Mardu Pyromancer deck had gone 4-0, which is nice to see that it's still getting played.
It's a good deck.
It's a good deck. There's a few people that have picked it up now recently.
Yes.
So
And probably still going to be good into the Bloodbraid Elf and Jace meta. I think it'll still be
I
fine.
think it's going to be,
You might play some more Red Boars, maybe in the sideboard to
possibly.
kill Jace. It seems
Yeah.
very good. But
Yeah.
obviously, young Pyromancer swarming the board against the Jace is also not a bad way to deal 3 points of loyalty damage.
Yes, right.
However,
and
That does bring us to the end of our
It
coverage
does.
here from Darksphere in London for Wednesday Night Modern. For those
it has
For those of you
ended.
interested, this weekend obviously brings on the GP in Lyon. It brings in the Star City Games, which is also modern, out in America. We also have our standard showdown and modern winner box
on the Sunday.
On the Sunday,
it is, yeah, modern winner box. Yes.
Come and play some modern.
If you are in the area or can get to the London area, certainly come down.
Do bear in mind without Jace and Bloodbraid. However,
without Jace and Bloodbraid.
Next week we will be back as service as normal
in
with
the Jund meta.
Modern will be Pauper action.
Meta.
Tuesday will be a Legacy, and Wednesday you will have our wonderful faces looking down the camera as we try to decide if Bloodbraid Elf and Jace the Mind Sculptor are going to be as powerful as they are, or if anyone actually owns them in time.
I think there's a few people around that have at least a disposable income to sort of chuck on Jaces or Bloodbraid Elf, whichever way they want to decide to go.
Yes.
People are going to be trying them, though. People are definitely going to be trying them. Maybe we see more Bloodbraid Elves, but it'd be good to see, just to see what the impact is. And it's competitive here, but it's also fairly relaxed, and people are just going to try what they want to play. So you're going to see it, which is good because we want to see it. We want to see how the impact it has on the format and see, like, is it actually so broken?
Yes.
Is it?
That will be the question that will be hopefully we
broken?
will start to answer next Wednesday. Please tell your friends, tell your family, tell the ones you know about our coverage here from Darkshire in London. Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Myself, I will be here Monday and Wednesday most weeks. Chris will probably be
might be back on Monday. We'll see. We might be back on Wednesday. We'll see.
And then we'll have our fellow commentators take you through the Legacy on Tuesday. We'll be very much looking forward to next week. Pauper's going to be amazing. Modern will be special to watch with the changes in the format. We'll look forward to you then. Thank you very much for watching. John Partridge, Chris Wingrave.
Good night.
Bye.